fuck is a prompter?
Teleprompter.
Why?
So you've been upping the ante every episode. At this rate, you get up.
Listen,
He's gonna come with his own like writing team soon.
don't hate on technology.
He's gonna come with a think
By
tank,
the
you know.
no.
Yeah.
All I have.
I hope we're rolling.
Are we?
Are we rolling?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, good.
Are we
yeah.
rolling?
Yeah.
We're
Sorry,
live.
we're just
Yeah.
talking about the
This-
fact that you've come with like new technology every week.
Right. Listen, this is the new technology, C4.
Who the fuck makes this?
Right. It's like I've been told it's like cocaine. You wanna try a sip and tell me if it's like cocaine?
I'll tell you if it's like cocaine. Do I snort it? What do I do? You don't have a straw.
It's not. You know where C4 stems.
Why are all energy drinks so sweet?
Okay, but
I feel like this tastes better than a typical those others.
yeah,
In
exactly.
case they have a sponsor, so I don't just.
But you know where C4 comes from? Not the Al Shabaab one. The
I love how you're looking at me like Farid. Relax, Farid.
We are just different shades of the same terrorism. bro.
Relax. We're not talking about your favorite C4, Farid.
Yeah, the one that goes boom boom, not boom.
yeah.
So this was a pre-workout. This is now I'm talking circa 2008, where there wasn't regulation towards what pre-workouts were. So they used to put all sorts of shit in it. And this first dose of this pre-workout supplement came. It was called C4.
I see.
And it went crazy. Like you would take that thing and all of a sudden you're like, hey, yeah, I want to beat someone. Yeah, I want to do something. And then obviously as the years pass by, they dumb it down and then the FDA get
So
involved.
now it's the fucking. So it's American.
Yeah, so this is American. I think it's American.
It's interesting though. I saw someone take pre-workout recently in the gym. One of my CrossFit partner or friends, a woman, British woman, and someone brought in some. It must be like some contraband fucking pre-workout powder. The chick was like before the workout was
Yeah.
like.
So you get this beta alanine. I think it helps with blood flow.
But that's crazy. I never want to feel like
It's
that.
not that serious.
No, it's not that serious. I think she was probably overacting just to get you to.
Oh, she took
hit
too
on her.
much.
Probably.
Yeah. We actually did.
Farid is here. Let me act up.
We actually did sleep together after that class. So it worked. No, I'm joking. We did.
That
That's
worked,
a joke.
right?
Yeah,
Thanks
yeah.
to C4. They got you laid.
Yeah.
How you guys doing, man?
Tuko sawa. But wait, I just want to confirm, Kim, you're walking around like something is wrong.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Right,
Just
okay.
do that.
Kim has given us character development.
Kim has gone. Sorry, what?
Just put on there.
So there was something wrong.
There was something wrong. By the way, this all goes into the podcast, huh? The way
Yeah,
we
It's
normally.
cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Farid, welcome back.
Is it welcome back? Have you done an episode in between our episode?
No,
We haven't.
Have you done one?
I have.
You have, yeah. I thought I saw some
I did a
trailer for it.
But we shot that before even our last trio.
Ah.
Down in the living room, us playing PS.
Yeah.
We shot that before.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've done, well, we record once a week or something, but just different podcasts. I think with
Right.
you,
This is
This-
the third. This is number
you-
3.
you had travel. Where did you go to?
I went to Switzerland to see my kids.
How was that?
Amazing.
Tell
Uh,
us more.
You
Is
look
it-
brighter. You look happier.
I am happy. My heart is full, man. And it's not often I'll say shit like that, but I had a great time. It's so crazy to leave Nairobi and fly to Europe, and you're leaving this cold weather and you're going into like 28, 29 degree weather. Switzerland's just, it's a different thing. It's
Like-
not like anywhere else you could ever go. It's perfect.
In a good way, huh?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Talk about the no.
The no is that there's nothing wrong with the place.
It's too perfect.
Like especially the town the canton they call it that they live in is called Zug, Z-U-G. But you know they're all sort of even Zurich in its own way. But everything works. If the bus is coming at 10:03, you get
comes
there
in.
at 10:04. It's gone.
So you like smog. You like a bit of
Chaos.
a bit of like what you can hear in the background.
Yeah. But it's beautiful because everything works. And I was talking to my ex-wife about this there while I was on this trip. She talks about they have elections every year.
What?
They have a different representative as president from the different cantons in Switzerland. The Swiss don't even know when it's happening.
Really?
They get the voter information in the mail. They vote by mail. They send it in, and then because the systems that have been put in place
It's insane.
operate.
What's happening, family? We've got another sponsor, MOFIT Supplements. Let's hear it out for them. We've got the whey protein, 24 grams of protein per serving. I love the strawberry flavor. We've got the pancake mix, quick and easy. Use it with water, use it with milk. Fantastic. Creatine, I use 5 grams a day. And fat burner. They have a lot more. They've got a muscle gainer. They've got a pre-workout. They've got shakers. Do check them out. They've shown us some love. I want you guys to show them some love. MOFIT Supplements. Guys, you know I love coffee a lot. I literally named my podcast the Coffee Pump Podcast. So with a caffeinated podcast, you need a caffeinated partner. And I'm happy to say that Connect Coffee has come on board as the official sponsor on the Coffee Pump Podcast. This is everything they have. My personal favorite is the Romeo blend. I first had this in 2016. Actually had my first business meeting at the Chiromo campus where we're shooting at today. They've shown us love. I'd like for you to show them some love as well. We'll link everything in the description of the video. Do check them out. Best coffee in Kenya, hands down.
So is it perfect? Like, because I've traveled quite a bit, and one place I didn't like was Dubai. Dubai I found too artificial. Like after a week, it's like
You've had enough.
So
of it.
I have the same feelings about Dubai. It's Dubai is
it has no soul.
has and it is perfect, but it's perfect in this sort of manufactured, brand new.
It depends on what you want at what time.
Yeah,
Right? It's
fair enough.
I mean, it's again.
The hookers are great, Sajid. We
Wait,
agree.
let's not get started.
The Russians.
No,
we were talking about Russians
But
before.
compare like Paris by night.
Okay, look, we've got a different
That's
topics
so-
we need to get to.
Okay.
So before we get to hookers, there's a
Okay,
I
okay,
want to
fair
talk
enough.
Baby
about-
steps, baby steps.
About the elections. Everything's done via email.
By I guess email now, but I mean I know they used to mail them, physically mail them there.
You know, if that happened via email in Kenya, a president would get like 75 million votes.
Yeah.
in Kenya.
More than the census.
More than the
Yeah.
census. Now,
It's-
when it comes to infrastructure, everything's on time. Everything's
everything
up to date.
works. You know, I
Time. Swiss are infamous.
So I'll give you an example. My flight, I take Qatar
Mm.
to Switzerland when I go because of price, and I'm a member of the Qatar
Does
club.
free fly business class?
Not Safari Link.
I do on and off. Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
I've never flown. Fuck you.
Really? I've Qatar business. It's called the Q Suite. It's
Ooh.
fucking amazing, dude.
We're economy class at Jumbo Jet.
No,
days.
but I flew economy on this trip because
Okay.
the prices have doubled. So
Somewhat,
I have
right.
to. You used to be able to fly business class on Qatar for around $1,800 round trip to Switzerland.
Not bad.
My economy ticket this time was $2,000.
How long is the flight?
5 hours 5 minutes to Doha and 6 hours to Zurich.
You're a tall guy, so that matters in terms of class.
So for $50 or $100 you can book an exit row,
Okay.
Which, why not?
which is fine
It makes
for
all the difference.
my size. It's fine. So you know what's
What
interesting
about
is
my size?
Big homie Sisi. Yeah, you need.
Big homie Sisi flew jumbo jet, and I was shocked.
How did he fit
'Cause
inside
I've
there?
flown in the back. The cockpit seats are comfortable, but in the back, again, the leg space is like minimal. So
How tall is he?
he's like 2 inches taller than me and like 10 inches wider.
Yeah, he's
So-
quite.
How? How do you even?
I don't know how he did
How do
it.
you even pour into the seat like
but
that?
his girlfriend at the time was like really tiny. So what I suspect is they had the armrest up.
Okay, so
and
then he
just
could fit
squashed her in
next
the
to her. Yeah.
corner.
By the way, this recent.
I hope she was at the window, not at the window. bro. She's probably like this the whole flight.
This recently happened to me where I sat next to a white mzee. He must have been an Irish guy. And he was just so
Irish?
upset. And he's like, he must have been inside his mind, this fat fuck. Because the seats are.
On jumbo jet.
I'm not, well, they're not bad, but
Not bad.
I've put on weight. So I've never experienced this in my life where I've sat next to someone and made them genuinely uncomfortable. Because believe me, I was your size at one point. And so I can imagine for you,
Well,
and
that's my
given
life.
your height.
That's my life. Now imagine being big and tall.
But
So-
for big commercial airlines, I would imagine they've taken that into consideration. The world is getting bigger.
In the States, all the interstate flights I did, I noticed the seats are wider.
Southwest has just allowed obese people. They've given them the second seat. Southwest.
Really?
Yeah, I saw some stand-up comedian talking about it, and he was pissed off. 'cause
Oh,
he's like-
Crystalia.
yeah, because he's like, they fucking won. That's
Like,
it. They
oh,
fucking won.
It's like,
you know?
bah.
Yeah.
So they get an extra seat.
Yeah.
And normally, if you have to pay for an extra seat,
Because it's considered a medical condition, which is, to me,
it's considered a medical.
fucking ridiculous.
That's all
All
right.
they're trying to say is America's too fat,
That's
so
all
you
right.
can have two seats.
Yeah.
But would you, in the same vein as people consider alcoholism, which is a form of excess consumption, a disease, I'm sure obesity also,
No,
they
but
fall on the same
he's
line.
pointed that out on an episode we did, and he was like, he thinks alcoholics should also just take responsibility
Yeah,
for
I don't believe it's a sickness.
overindulgence.
You know, I gave the example of watching my mom die of cancer. She didn't decide one day to pick up cancer, and then she was going to do cancer for the rest of her life. She
Yeah.
died of cancer. How I don't. and it's very unpopular in Alcoholics Anonymous to say this, but I don't look at it as a disease at all. I made a lot of conscious decisions to pick up a drink and call a drug dealer and wait 5 hours outside of Kengele's for him to arrive with a gram of cocaine. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's not a sickness, dude. You know, maybe a sickness of the mind, but it's not. So, look, I agree that food is an addiction, like alcohol and drugs and sex. I agree that people can be addicted to food, and the same reasons that you use alcohol for, the same things you use alcohol for to numb whatever pain or trauma you have. People use food for the same thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
their
that's true.
comfort.
That's true.
Plus in America, like cheap food is the worst, and very cheap food. I mean, dollar menu.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to
Do you
overindulge.
think we have food addiction? Because I notice whenever we get stressed out and have really long days and weeks,
Yeah, I work
the
for
first thing I'll
airline,
tell you is
bro.
like, if you go to the gym, we're like, wait, we find that Somali restaurants that's open. We found different restaurants all across the city that are open like 24 hours.
First of all, Nairobi is a scam when it comes to anyone who works late night or late into the night. The only place that's open 24 is Chicken Inn.
Yeah.
They've mastered that joy, and Chicken Inn, man, it's
But
And-
I've showed you,
yeah.
I've shown you
Terrible
two,
food.
there are two places now that we know of.
Wasn't there the whole maggot controversy with Chicken Inn a couple of years back? Someone took a picture of Chicken Inn like that was crawling with maggots. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, but I mean that could also. I saw that as well. But yeah, two restaurants that we found are open till like the wee hours. So you know where Red Ginger is, the hill.
yeah.
As you're going down on the right, there's a new stop mall.
Mhm.
At the top, there's an unnamed Somali restaurant that does anything and everything you want. I mean, literally, you can order off
They
the
have
item.
fries, they have camel, they have
Yeah, camel cappuccino, bro.
fish.
Have you ever tried camel milk
Oh
cappuccino?
no, camel milk is disgusting.
It's
By the way, camel milk is how I met my second wife.
oh, really.
Camel milk was the thing that got us together. It's another story for another
my
day.
No,
wife-
let's talk about
My,
that.
my mother-in-law sends me camel meat once a month.
But camel,
So do you make a sandwich out of it? What are you doing?
No, it's already
It's in
it's called,
biryani.
it's called nir.
it's the ground one.
Yes,
It's
comes-
really fucking good,
it's
dude.
tasty.
It's good.
I
It's very
remember
tasty.
being so. I
Just
date-
like bacon
I
almost.
don't know if we talked about this. I dated a half Sudanese, half Somali chick.
We need to get through this dating roster of yours, man.
She was gorgeous, by the way. Diplomat's daughter, stunning, blah blah blah. But
Sold our lives,
money.
eh?
yes, of course, dude. We're still friends, weirdly enough. Her Somali side of the family served me camel meat once, and I didn't know it was camel meat, and I ate it, and then I was like, "This is delicious." And then her aunt was like, "It's camel," and I was like, "That's fucking disgusting," but it's also really delicious. You know
It
what
is,
I
it
mean?
is,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. It's
But
amazing.
But I gotta ask, because my bro has a baby mama story. So how is it like going back to see your kids but see your ex-wife? How does that work?
Ah, we're good, man. So she's got a partner. He's a Swiss guy.
That helps, I hear. My brother tell me, because once his ex settled with someone, everything just
But I took Rena, my partner, to meet her and my kids last year for my son's 7th birthday.
Right.
And her partner, and we all went out with her family. So her partner's got a son from a previous marriage, who's my son's friend, and they're all coming down now. Her partner, and the 3 boys in April. It's you get to a point in life where you're like, look, I think, how much drama do you really want?
How long was the drama?
No, there was really. I think I had more drama because she left with the kids. And then, I dated in between that and meeting my current partner, and it was, always the same story at the end of it. Like we were just talking about off air, I have a problem, or had a problem, I should say,
Yeah.
with fidelity in a relationship. And maybe I just wasn't happy. I don't know what it is. But I just feel like you can do so much more with your energy than be resentful.
Can I ask you a controversial question? Is there a part of you that somewhat, and I hope your kids don't watch this, enjoy them being far? Like,
No,
not at all.
no.
You prefer they were here.
I struggle so much
Like
not
with
being
another
around.
father figure as well, who's now involved.
Yeah,
How
so
does that
was my
work?
biggest concern.
Yeah.
Was that I was going to lose my kids to someone else. But actually, it's been quite the opposite.
Okay.
He's great with my kids. And I mentioned this to my partner, my ex-wife, last time we were there. I said, he's amazing. In January when I was there, he's amazing with the kids. I don't ice skate, and he was ice skating with them. And she's made it very clear who their dad is, and they're very clear. My son sent me a message yesterday saying, "You're the best dad in the world." Now that's odd
that's
for someone
amazing.
who doesn't live with them.
Yeah.
To answer your question, no, it's not in any way ideal. I struggle every time I leave, and I have moments during the week where I almost break down because I miss them so much. And I would do anything to be in a situation where we could be closer together. But you know, again, it's life. And if I want to focus on the negative side of the situation, then really, how do I continue? How do I grow?
Right.
You know how it is. It's recovery is the same, right?
Yeah.
If you're always thinking about all the shit you fucked up in your active addiction, you know, you can't live in the past. Mistakes were made,
Yeah.
decisions were taken. They've got, and to be honest with you, would I move them back here after seeing the life they have in Switzerland? No,
So schooling's better.
everything.
Cost of living, I'm
It's
assuming, is quite
ridiculously high.
You're sure you don't want them to do Ruto CBC?
No, no,
I saw yesterday they slashed capitation for education.
no. I don't want them to do CBC, and I can't afford ISK. So
Yeah,
Fair
how
enough.
much is ISK a year?
I
It's like
don't know, man.
$70,000.
I'll tell you.
Term?
I'll tell you what was
A year?
interesting.
I think it's a term, $70,000 a term.
No way.
No, it's
That's
not
too
that.
high.
It can't be that high.
That's
It's not that
that's
high?
I think it's probably
that's
about
like
2
9
million.
No, this Bobby Khimani of what's his name, of PC World.
Yeah.
He had a podcast on Financially Incorrect, and he was saying that per daughter it was either $35,000 or $75,000. We'll try and find that clip and put it over.
Per year.
But I
Must
thought it
be
was
per year.
Must be per year. But I remember my son was in the German school, which is not even it's top tier, but it's
Yeah.
not like the high top tier. It's
Yeah.
like middle of range, right?
Yeah.
For kindergarten, we were paying 1 million shillings a year
Get the fuck out of
Yeah,
it, seriously.
for kindergarten.
Do you remember how much we used to pay at Saints?
Like 60K, man.
No. Formed. Okay, because you were formed.
It was like 60K, bro.
Sorry, you were the budget one. So okay, so it was. I don't think it was 60K. I remember you
Okay, I
paying
can't remember,
85K over there.
Wow.
Way.
A whole
By the way,
85?
surprisingly, majority of our viewers that watched that, they're like, these guys are cheesies. That's quite expensive. But given that range of schools that we had, Hillcrest was up there. Then I remember there was Premier, and then let's just skip over Oshawa. And then there was Aga Khan Acad, which then went eventually up. And Saints was considered like
But you know a conversation I had recently about 844 and IG? Most successful people in Kenya tend to have done 844 in as much as IG was sold as this amazing thing.
we did 844 initially, right?
Because I think it makes you acquiesce to the Kenyan, there's a Kenyan culture of grit and just hard work by force almost.
Do you remember, Fred, did you do 844?
No, I
So
was
the
schooled
States,
When
overseas.
when you were doing an exam in GHC, you literally had to take a string and then measure the distances. Remember that?
Yes.
There was once we literally for some reason none of us carried strings. So we took James Warui, one Jama over there, we took his sweater and started removing. And then by the time you look at it, one sleeve.
Poor fucker.
But that's just
But that
exam.
came through for me in flight school because when you're doing your PPL, when you're doing navigation initially,
Yeah.
they teach you how to plot and you literally have to know how to use a string.
Okay. So while you're up in the air, if you get lost, that's what you use then.
No, when you're in the air, you use a ruler and a compass. But the principle on mapping.
But there's nothing computerized in your cockpit.
No, that was so for flight. No, when you're taught navigation, they teach you the rawest format first.
Yeah.
Of course, right now you didn't see us with strings in the cockpit. We used
Imagine,
I saw you with strings in the cockpit.
Imagine-
Don't lie. That's how
imagine-
jumbo jet rolls.
imagine you're going on that airline, and Eric is
I swear, I'd be like, fucking get
He's
me.
and he takes a ball. He takes a ball gum. He takes a ball gum that is chewing to stick it to the windshield.
Just get me the fuck off this plane, please. Yeah.
Before we move on from Switzerland and talk about these other things, is it true that Switzerland humbles you in terms of how good looking the people are? And I've heard that you walk into the gents urinal, that most of them start over here.
No,
'Cause
I think you're. I think you're talking about the Scandinavian countries like Sweden, but no.
What do you mean by start over here?
So
tall height.
In fact, this Andrew Schultz, the Indian buddy, what's he called?
Akash.
He one of his comedy specials was like, that's a place that humbles you. Because when he went, I'm not sure if it was Sweden or
I think
Switzerland.
it's probably Sweden.
He's like, when he went to the urinal, he was starting.
Look, the Swiss people, there are beautiful people in Switzerland. I mean, the beautiful thing about Switzerland is it's full of lakes, and in the summertime,
Right.
that's their beach, and every canton has lakes. So we at the lake with my son. Something interesting happened on this trip though. So my son's 12, and he's up to here on me. I mean, he's a massive boy,
Yeah.
and he's skinny, but he's tall. And we're on the bus going to the lake, and going to the lake is women are there in their short shorts, and it's like going to the beach, and my son, this woman walks in. She must be about 26, 27 years old, and we sort of both did like this. And then I said to my son, like, he was so obvious. I was like, bro, I'm like, you've got to find a way to be a little bit more subtle. So he's like, okay, show me how. And I was like, this is the best bonding moment ever.
And
You
then
know what I
Farid is like
mean?
this. Whoa,
Yeah.
that's where you go.
my dad, my mom, my dad, 3 boys growing up in the same house. That happened to us in a car. I remember mom looking at the whole car, just looking, including my dad, and 3 boys in the back,
Just staring, just
all
staring.
looking at us, man.
Okay. And in terms of scenery and
Beautiful.
beautiful,
It's a beautiful
as
country.
advertised,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
social
yeah,
media.
yeah, absolutely. And you cannot find a piece of litter on the street. I mean, this is what I mean, right? It's and I was just saying. So my Qatar flight leaves Zurich at 9:25 to go to Doha. That's the return,
Right.
right? I comfortably can take the bus to the train station at 5:50 in the morning. Take the it's 6 minutes by bus to the train station, right?
Mm.
My train is at 5:58. There's no panic that the bus is going to get me there, because if you're 2 minutes late for the train, it's gone.
It's gone.
I have 2 minutes to get up the stairs with my suitcase to platform 5, knowing I'm going to make that train and be at the airport at 6:23 hours before my flight.
I would thrive there. I love time.
Yeah, yeah.
I would
So
thrive.
there's in no way that I'm thinking, shit, if I miss this, I've got to get a hotel or go back to.
Everything is just so aligned quite
So
well,
I
yeah?
get to the bus stop at 4 to walk to the bus stop from my ex-wife's house is 4 minutes.
Wow.
So I know it's coming at 5:50. So at 5:45 on the dot,
You're
I'm
there.
saying goodbye to my ex-wife and my kids. At 1 minute before 5:49, I'm at the bus stop. I hear the bus. Comes, picks me up, get to the train station. Not even running,
Walking.
walking, because it takes me a minute and a half, means I have 30 seconds to spare to get on that train, and I'll be at the airport 3 hours before my
So
flight.
the Google Maps is pretty accurate of you. Have you ever tried Google Maps in Kenya when it tells you a place is 15 minutes away? And then all of a sudden you're there like 30 minutes because those Panya routes have so much traffic. But that's amazing.
Timing is something that the Swiss pride themselves in, right?
But I mean, they're the inventors of the clock, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's
I mean, Rolex is a Swiss thing. So I did 6 days in the sun with my kids. And then went to this really cool antique video game museum, dude, like with all the
Oh, that
old
must have been
consoles like
really-
Sega and Atari, and
That must have been nice.
and you could play all the games. We did that one
No
day.
way.
Yeah, it was so cool. And then I landed, got home at 2, and then you get to JKIA, dude.
You feel depressed. I remember we used to travel and we'd land back and you hear the announcement for we just landed at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport.
The fuck
It just
am I doing
feels
here?
sad, man.
Well, I feel sad because of saying goodbye to my kids. My youngest was really in tears. My eldest has kind of figured out that my eldest has now figured out that I go and I come back.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, I did the math the other
Yeah.
day. 7 years, I've done 29 trips to Switzerland in those 7 years. So the majority of the money I've made has gone into seeing my kids. So they will never. I never want them to say I didn't try.
So you need a Shenzhen visa in order to get there.
No, I'm British. I have British and
You
Kenyan.
lucky fucker.
I know.
What the fuck are you doing in Kenya?
So when you're going to
This is your
States, you don't,
British
have, you don't have
passport.
to even sweat.
You have to get an ESTA online visa
Oh
to go
my
to the
God.
US.
Oh
it
my
takes
God.
Farid, you
it
fuck.
takes 48 hours. It takes 48 hours.
Now I know why he keeps the accent, because he's got a British passport as well.
But also,
Here we have to deal with shit like have you ever
you had to deal because of Moha.
what do you mean?
Because of Moha.
So on top of Mohammed and my Mohammed, my middle name has 2 M's, so that's even worse.
Oh, you're fucked.
I'm fucked. Yeah, but it's the middle Mohammed, MOHAMMED. So they're like, oh, why is he emphasizing the fact that he's Mohammed?
C4, bro. C4.
C4. C4. And then on top of that, the Kenyan passport, like literally UK. So if you get engaged or if you have a fiance, there's some points where they even ask you for her bank account. And if there's anything, if she has a joint account, for example,
Yeah.
with her mom or her dad, the dad has to give a written agreement in order for you to submit those documents for fucking Kenyans. How much of a hassle is
But
that?
you know, in 2006, I went back to the UK to do my film degree, and I hadn't been in 10 years. So all my renewals for my British passport were done in Africa, either initially in Nairobi, then it was Pretoria.
Yeah.
So I land at Heathrow, and I go through the British citizens, UK citizens line, and it's super fast. And you scan your passport, and there's glass doors open, and they only pull you aside if they feel like there's something that's not right.
Oh,
So
yes,
this
that's why I get pulled aside
fucking
every time.
Sikh guy with a turban pulls me aside after going through the automatic line, and he's like, what is your business in England? So I'm like, am I in Heathrow? Like, I'm fucking British, dude. And he says, he's flipping through my passport, like
Yeah.
looking for something.
Hmm.
And I said, I'm here to do my film degree. I'll be here for 18 months, and then I'm going to go back to Kenya, or maybe I'll stay, whatever. No, I'll go back to Kenya. And he says, and are you planning to stay? And I looked him dead in the eyes, and I said, you fucking did. And that was it, dude. The guy put me in a room for 3 hours. No one came to me. Then they just came and gave my passport back and just told me to fuck off, basically.
Man.
I was like, I'm not taking this shit. That guy was definitely not born in the UK.
But you have that. My experience in the UK is, so again, flight delay from KQ. I was going to Toronto, and you have to stop over in UK and then change flights. I think it lands at Terminal 1 or Terminal 2, and then you have to go to Terminal 4. I mean, this was in 2019 at the time, so they didn't have the same
So
problems.
KQ2?
So KQ to London,
Uh-huh.
interchange, and then you get Air Canada to
Toronto.
Toronto. So flight from here delays by half an hour, 45 minutes. So by the time I get there, I had 2 hours to sort of go from one terminal to the other. What I didn't realize is just crossing the fucking terminal in UK takes you like 1.5 hours.
No, it's like different. It's a different part of the fucking.
It's a different part of the city.
Heathrow is a town,
Yeah.
and it's a different part of Heathrow.
Literally, you're going from one end, taking a bus, taking a train, going to the other. Now, by the time I landed, they closed the gate. They're like, you can't check in. Luckily, I had the Wazungus at the counter who were super helpful. They're like, look, why don't you try and call KQ? They will try and give you a hotel for the night. KQ never picked up any of their phone lines, never responded to any of the emails. So what I ended up doing was she was nice. She was like, you seem a bit distraught. Why don't we go and try and get you a day pass for a visa? I was
That's
like,
cool.
If we can do that, that's amazing. Because I told, listen, I've stayed in UK before. So they went and took me to the immigration officer, all Muzungus. And I was like, you know what? Fucking fantastic. Because if I see a Mwindis, this chuti or chuti crime is very real.
It's real, eh?
It's real.
Are you planning to
You
stay?
stay.
I was
It's
fucking
like-
born here, mate.
So he just asked me, he's like, mate, you've been here before, right? He's like, do you know your way around? I was like, okay. You know what time your flight is? I'm like, they've given me a flight for tomorrow morning. Be here before then.
Yeah.
I fucked off. I took the base. I basically take the train station, went to central London, chilled. They were so helpful.
But doesn't social status and what you do count
No.
in terms of visa? Because I my visa for Canada was so easy, bro. All I said was Jamojet. That was it.
Ah,
No, because
Literally.
maybe because you're a pilot, you sort of get the leeway to do that. But Kawaida folks, I think it's a bit difficult.
I know a lot of people that have just been rejected left, right, and center for visas, man.
Even with like proper bank accounts.
I think it also depends on who you get, right? I
Oh,
mean, that fucking Paji in fucking London, man. I
He had
can
it out
still
for you.
see his
He
face.
still had it for
And
you.
I was just like, whatever they do to me, I'm not taking this shit. Because you know what happens is they come to the UK, they're given a job in immigration, and that fast tracks their citizenship. That's what he did.
When I went to Malaysia, though, they asked at the immigration, they asked us, because no, there's no visa, so you get it there. Those guys assumed we're coming for basketball, bro.
Really? Because you're so tall.
Because we're black. You get,
But-
we're like 6 of us. You get.
You can't possibly be here for holiday.
When I tell you we're here for pilot training,
Yeah.
there was that kind of shock, like, oh.
Okay, on a side note, by the way, one thing I noticed in Air Canada, which since we're speaking about airlines, is the air hostesses are all like aunties and mothers and grandmothers.
Oh, it's the same with a lot of
Inclusion.
airlines, dude. British Airways too.
British
Luft-
Airways as well. Have you seen? Okay,
British Lufthansa.
have you been recently on Emirates?
And Qatar, bro.
Jesus Christ! Like, what the hell is that?
Qatar I know people in my company who've been rejected over like a nick like this.
What do you mean?
A nick like this.
That means they're doing drugs, oh?
No, they want perfection, bro.
And dude, they got it.
Perfection.
They got it.
Okay, what's your take on that? Do we be all inclusive, or do you guys like?
Oh,
no.
perfect for me.
It's
As a frequent flyer.
it's a brand. That whole formation for seeing Qatar walking through the airport like the Dreamliner guys and they're like 16, they have to look good.
Do you know who does their in-flight video? Do you know who hosts Qatar's in-flight video?
Let me guess.
Priyanka Chopra,
No,
Samchi.
no.
Deepika Padukone,
No.
Give us a hint.
Jackie Chan,
Comedian.
Russell Peters,
Black.
Dave Chappelle.
No. Getting closer.
Chris Rock.
Nope.
Kevin
Someone who's yes, bro.
Kevin
What?
Hart.
Someone who's very relevant, dude.
And I'm sure that's a big check.
That's a big.
He is
fucking
the
check.
guy, and then he's like and each video is tailored to the city you're traveling to from Doha.
Yeah.
So he's like, make sure you buckle in, and then it says Nairobi, and there's people in safari chairs putting a fucking buckle, and he's in the fucking shot.
Oh.
And if you're going to Switzerland, he's like standing in front of the Alps. It's
How much-
fucking crazy,
How
dude.
much do you think you got paid
Nah,
for
I'm
that?
sure that check is crazy.
Must be.
Okay.
I would say in close to the 100 million range.
I saw Jennifer Aniston also does which airline is it? Emirates. Jennifer
So
Aniston.
I know Deepika Padukone, who's you know her, the Bollywood actress. She did something for Qatar as well. Qatar has been getting these celebrities.
Even Shah Rukh Khan, with the whole Dubai tourism campaign, the Visit My Dubai,
Yes.
where he was like the hidden camera stuff where like this woman jogging on the beach, and then
Yeah.
this guy in a hoodie comes up next to her, and she like looks over like,
It's
get
Shah
away
Rukh
from
Khan.
me, and he takes his hoodie off, and she like, goes nuts. So these people are about to skydive,
Yeah.
and he walks out of the cockpit to skydive with them.
And he's been promoting them. Yeah.
I mean, he's the highest paid actor, but just so everyone knows, Shah Rukh Khan is the highest paid actor in the world.
For those
More
yeah,
money than Tom Cruise.
more money than Tom Cruise. For those guys that don't know, for the subscriber that's
Shout
watching,
out the Wayanis, man. Sorry.
bro, Shah Rukh Khan literally has, I think he was gifted a villa on the island because of his involvement in Dubai.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
net worth wise, Bollywood actors in general, the top 10 Bollywood actors, I am positive net worth are more than the top 10 Hollywood
But
actors.
the market is it's itself.
But
1.2 B.
of course, and think about Shah Rukh Khan tells people from India to go to Dubai, they will go to Dubai. But Kevin Hart, dude, is telling you, when you land in before we take off for Nairobi, make sure you buy. And you're just like, is fucking Kevin
That's
Hart talking to me,
amazing,
man?
That's amazing.
And it's crazy. You can find it. It's this safety video online. And then I think the thing about Qatar, I had a similar experience coming back from Goa a couple of years ago, where I missed my connection. It was late by many hours leaving Goa. So when I got to Doha, this is the difference. Yeah, I got to Doha. Someone was standing outside
Waiting for you.
with a list of 6 names of people who missed flights to Nairobi.
No way.
Right? And then the next one was 6 people who had missed flights to, or 10 people who missed flights to the UK, whatever. And you see your name, not written, printed, laminated. They take you to the transit desk. I didn't need a transit visa because I'm UK. In those days, Kenyans now can go to Doha no visa, but you couldn't then. They tell you all, okay, we'll get you to a 5-star hotel. They tell you when you get there, you have $150 to spend on food. If you want to
Jesus
order
Christ.
food, you can go to the restaurant. Or next day, without fail, they're there to pick you up and they take you back to the airport.
That's amazing service.
No, but it's unfair for me to say, considering who I work for. But Qatar for sure for me is my favorite airline.
Me too.
KLM is the realest. Like
When you say realist, what do you mean?
what you see is what you get. They're nice, but not too nice. It's
Okay.
very European.
European.
Like they're very. You get your service,
Yeah.
but it's not. There's nothing extra.
No.
In terms of monetary payment, is Qatar the pivotal?
Qatar, Emirates.
I think for me, Qatar is extremely reasonable in comparison.
Too.
I think the Middle Eastern airlines, Qatar and Emirates, are, 100% service-wise, you can't even compare. They're the best. But price-wise, I think that the European airlines are still charging slightly more for
yeah.
less.
Yes.
The former board executive of KQ got in trouble for flying Emirates, bro.
Really?
Out of Kenya, yeah, to Dubai.
Is that seen as is it frowned upon?
Of course, bro. You're the executive.
You don't remember when this?
But he knows some of the challenges. It's like I'm not trying to be.
You don't remember when Kenya won the Singapore Sevens, and KQ was a shirt sponsor, and they arrived back on an Emirates flight, and all the press was filming them getting off the fucking plane,
Oh,
and
wow.
they're in the Kenya Airways jerseys getting off an Emirates plane.
That was
This
some-
is where Kenya Airways gets it wrong. You know what I mean? Like, how do you
branding.
even fucking
Such a good opportunity for branding,
How do
right?
you get that wrong? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's true.
Even if you don't fly to Singapore, make a plan.
Make a plan,
Land them
yeah.
in fucking Mombasa, and then have a KQ fucking Dreamliner pick them up from Mombasa and fly them to Nairobi.
Farid, last thing on Switzerland. Rolex watches. Are you guys fans of Rolexes? It's a dream to own one.
I can't
from
afford
far,
one.
From
yeah.
far, like,
Can you go and see these factories where they make them?
Absolutely.
Have
how
you ever
they're
gone
made.
and seen them?
I have seen Rolexes being made, handmade.
And how is it?
It's
The whole
incredible.
experience.
I think it's hammed up for the public.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are machines that mass produce
Mass-produce
them,
them.
but they actually have someone there putting the pieces with these little tweezers. And
Apparently, Rolex is a charity. It's not a profitable organization, right?
Fuck, man, who's getting that money?
well, who's getting that money?
I mean,
Isn't the average watch like $20,000?
No, we'll put it up. I think they did it maybe for tax purposes and long-term business plan. But however, they're not a P&L type company.
That's cool.
Do you guys ever worry that you've probably tasted a bit more of this in terms of high life? Us guys are still a bit young. Do you ever worry that you'll never reach that level?
Of course.
I worry sometimes.
Of course.
Because
Farid is also worried. That's why we're trying to do this over here, man.
because my parents did well by letting us see the world. We got a glimpse. It was not like
Yeah.
spending, but you got a glimpse of what it can be.
But
Look,
have you ever done such a purchase where you go and buy a GMT 2 for like £24,000 just to treat yourself?
I bought a brand new car.
Okay.
from Toyota Westlands.
That's still something.
That was
Brand new, brand
7.9 million.
yeah,
Hey.
buying brand new.
That was, yeah, I did.
For you
And-
to spend 7.5 million on a car, that means
Yeah.
you had some good coffers.
yeah. I was doing.
I realized Farid's broke is rich. He's broke is rich.
Fucking ISK, bro, in German school.
He's broke is rich, man.
German school. Mein Kampf, hey.
My kids are.
Over there. But
We just lost our Bavaria.
Yeah.
Do you pay full on
For the car.
for the 7 billion? You pay
I know. I pay. I put.
full.
You see, you can't even fathom.
You're
By the
supposed to
way.
put a minimum of 20% down to get a loan. I put 50% down and then paid the rest off in I think a year and a half.
7.9 million. Which car was it? Can we say?
Fortuna. Yeah.
Fucking
Nice.
Yeah.
brand new.
But I'm still driving it. It's a fucking great car.
Yeah, exactly.
It lasts forever. It drives like a new car.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't beaten it to death.
The reason I was sorry.
But it pains me to see how I'll go back to that Malaysia trip. The cars were so advanced, like the normal Toyota there.
Is so advanced.
It's so advanced compared to what we have here.
Mm.
Even the colors.
the 2024, 2025 cars.
Even
We're
the
fucking
colours, I was
getting
like,
You know, it's interesting you mentioned Malaysia because when we got the car seat for my oldest son, we had to get the information on how to install it from a Malaysian website in the Fortuna.
really.
I was,
Yeah.
I was even. I'm telling you, even the colors. You know, in Kenya, most cars are what, black, white, red, green.
We're starting to see more color, but before
There was a whole other like. I was
it's
like,
different, right?
man.
But what is it about? Okay, now I'll throw a question to you guys. So, as young-ish Kenyans, this need to live a life that you can't afford,
Hmm.
right? I see this a lot. So I've been in this industry of production and media for 20
Showmanship.
plus years, and I paid people industry standards, and because we worked a lot with South African companies, we paid them really good rates for Kenya. Like editors were earning 100, 150,000.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning guys
Producers
earning quite well.
100, 150, 200,000. I had a producer, I think before she quit, was earning almost 400,000 a month from us. The first thing that Kenyans do is they immediately change their lifestyle without thinking about job security. When the job goes, I have the same people asking me to borrow. We talked about this, 500 shillings, 1,000 shillings now. What is it that causes Kenyans not to think further ahead about their financial security?
Showmanship is one. People like to floss. People like to floss.
But it's not just in America. I mean, if you look at, we were talking with Ricky, one of his friends, about African American culture in US.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
Showmanship is.
Know what
I
I'm
don't.
saying?
I don't want to say the word, but the
The N word.
Yeah. But you call it something that being
We can't say it. I'm just
because where it's about living beyond your means, right? And I think again, showmanship is a huge part and parcel of that. I think it's also education about money. Which school actually tells you what to do with money when you start getting it, right? We want to start living beyond means. Credit cards. Have you seen how credit card payments and credit card features have doubled down in
Not
Kenya?
even
Because
that,
a lot
bro.
of people are living beyond their
But
means
also,
over
also
here. Yeah?
banks, the moment you start earning a certain amount, they're very hyena-ish. They're always trying to give me money.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
of
always
course.
like, I'm always like, wait,
the new car was a suggestion from my bank. I had a RAV4. I was very comfortable. I'm not a showy guy, dude.
Who are you
Like,
banking with, by the way?
the Rothschilds.
I bank with Lloyd's in the UK.
Yeah, Lloyd's good.
And Prime Bank here.
Okay, for me here at DTB, I mean, I've had really good payouts sometimes, but they don't give a fuck about me, bro. I have to tell them, can I get a credit card, please? They're just not interested in
Man,
me.
my bank
Is-
told me to buy a car in those days. It was at NIC, now NCBA. They were like, well, why don't you buy a car? I'm like, all right, cool. Like I was saying, I'm not a showy person.
person.
I've never been.
Okay.
And money, I like a nice house.
Yeah.
And I like good food. And like I said, if I can travel to see my kids 3, 4, up to 5 times a year.
Yeah. So I'm with you on that. My personality has sort of changed. Before, I was very guilty of wanting to have the suits, the watches, the this, the that. I still have at the back of my mind I want to buy a Rolex and just have one for myself as an achievement. That's still
And
there.
I think you should.
And that's there. But what has changed now is one thing is materialistic items keep coming and going.
Yeah.
Perfumes, chains, this and that. One thing,
Chains. You wear chains.
I used to wear a lot of silver chains and rings and this and that, but all that's changed. And one thing that I've realized is the experiences matter the most. Whenever I travel, one thing I won't compromise on is the place that I stay and the food that I eat.
Mm.
When you start budgeting, when you start cutting corners on food And he's seen that with me. Whenever we go to restaurants, let's just have what we want. Let's just try everything. All right. There's no harm because
Try
you-
everything. Yeah, true.
Okay, so there's an extreme story to that, but we don't need to tell that. But the thing is, the shirt it'll fit next year. It won't. It'll get torn. But the experiences always matter. So that's why one thing when I
I'm
go
about
any place, experiences and food. Let's not cut corners of
And
that.
we were in Diani after I got back from Switzerland, thanks to Jumbo Jet, which was on time, both legs.
Shout out.
For 3 nights, and we was my partner Rena, her cousins from Canada, their 2 kids, and her mom, her brother, and his wife, and their kids. So there's about 15 of us. And one day we were all by the pool, and everyone's planning their dinner. It was around 4 o'clock or 3:30, and I said, I'm gonna get in the ocean, and it was grayish clouds, and the waves were quite high. And I went in because I love the ocean water. And it wasn't surfing weather, and I do like to surf, so I couldn't surf, but I wanted to be in the water.
Yeah.
Within 10 minutes, there were 15 of us in the water,
Whoa.
and I just wanted. It made me so happy that because that's a free experience.
You can't pay for that. Yeah.
And we're in the water, everyone's splashing around, jumping into the waves, kids of all sizes, the whole family. Her mom was in the water,
Amazing.
and I was just thinking to myself, that's life. That's life. The Rolex and all that, I agree. I have a nice car. It's got leather interior. And I bought the high-end automatic, not manual Fortuna because I wanted a nice car. That's great, but that's for me. Experiences.
And I tell you
Awesome.
something, because we fly to what, 9 destinations? Holiday makers. Bro, every time we land in Diani, you can just see the happiness.
Yeah.
It makes us so, sometimes we feel so sad because us get there for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's such a different energy, man. Like you can see that natural happiness. Guys disembark, they're taking pictures, no arguments, they buy the most. Like holiday makers are the best.
When is the last time you took a holiday?
Last year this time, we went to Diani with wife. Planning to go to Cape Town this November.
That's something we're planning as well.
Nice.
Yeah, that will be nice.
You're going?
So every year there's this AfricaCom conference, which happens around 12th November. And they haven't had a break. So I was like, look, I'm there for the first week. Why don't you guys just come in on Thursday?
Amazing.
We spend the weekend together. That's what we're planning. And perhaps even shoot a podcast over there.
Oh, amazing.
So maybe we extend the invite to you as well.
I'll join you guys.
Yeah, come.
Yeah. Cape Town is one of my favorite fucking cities.
I've
dude.
never
Cape Town
been.
is
I've never
very
been.
nice.
Hey, dude, you're not in Africa, dude.
Yeah.
It's a whole different vibe.
Cape
dude.
Town is
Cape Town
different.
and for me, Cape Town and Marrakech in Morocco are my 2 favorites.
how's Marrakech?
Morocco's. It's just it's funny. We flew.
I think I saw Andrew Schultz swear by Marrakech. as
Yeah,
well.
we
As
flew.
in why? From a bachelor party perspective, or
Oh, I don't know. I was there for a family member's 60th birthday. Very different.
did
to
he
a
get
bachelor
did,
party.
did he get turned up?
My uncle, who was a captain, by the way, for Kenya Airways, we flew Royal Air Maroc when it was flying.
Yeah.
To Marrakech, and my cousins from London flew from London to Marrakech, and their flight was shorter, which I found so bizarre, right? But obviously, as a pilot,
Yeah.
But I just found that so weird. It was like half the time.
Half the time.
But it's like a real combination of Europe and Africa. It's something special.
Really.
And had I been, apparently it's one of the best surf destinations on the continent. I wasn't surfing then, but now I want to go back. But it's different. And you know what? It's nice about Africa is everywhere is different. I think Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda sort of have so many similarities.
Yeah.
Once you start getting out a little bit, it just becomes like Cape Town is not like it's wide. Like you can. If I blindfolded you, put you on a fucking plane where you couldn't hear any of the announcements, got you in a taxi from Cape Town, took you to Camps Bay,
Yeah, you wouldn't
opened your
believe-
eyes and said, "Where are you?" You would be like, "I have no fucking idea."
Seriously, the first time I saw it, and you look at the Table Mountains, you can literally just. It's a stunning vista.
Yeah.
It's a sensory experience. It's unlike anything
And
I've ever
food.
experienced.
Oh,
Do you think
Food is brilliant, bro. Like the steaks over there are proper steaks.
and cheap.
and affordable? I hear.
There's a restaurant I tell everyone to go. I was introduced by a friend of a friend who said every time he brings a client, he goes to this place called Nelson's Eye Steakhouse. So when I went with Vish, who's our camera guy, to Cape Town, he's a vegetarian. So I was like, oh, what a fucking waste. But I'm still going to go. And
Fuck you, Vish.
every year, I mean, I just went
Have a
once.
salad, yeah.
But they always remember. There's that personal touch. But the food there, the steaks, especially if you're a steak lover, I've never seen any
No,
place.
you don't
serve-
get meat like any
Yeah,
that. Any,
no.
having grown up in the U.S., I would say even in the U.S. you don't get meat like that.
I've heard that comparison as well.
And what you would pay 3,500 shillings for here for something pretty average will cost you the equivalent of 1,500 shillings there, and it will be world class.
I
Do
went
you guys think the way our like lives are set up typically, do you think we get enough downtime?
No,
Because I
Not
feel,
fun,
think about it, I traveled last year, around this time. That's the only time I think I've taken leave twice. It's just been jobo. Like,
How many days of leave do you get a year?
I think 28 total.
28 is not bad. I get 21. And by the way, public, like if it falls over Christmas holidays, which it always does, you have to deduct that. So you're left with more like 18 or 19 days.
but see, I think
Which
the
is-
difference for you, Sajid, is that you travel for work,
Which
Yeah.
is so cool.
and you can probably take a day or
Yeah,
half a
yeah.
day to kind of see what you need to see.
Yeah.
You know, for you, unfortunately,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
had the same problem on radio, dude.
But
Like,
I wanted to ask about that because radio was like full time, man.
yeah, and when I went back to Capital this last time, I told them, I said, I'm going to have to go to Switzerland at least 4 times a year.
Mm.
They were so desperate for me to come back, they agreed. But it was still a problem when I would say I'm leaving. They'd be like,
Did they give you leave days, Farid? And did you have to plan them way
I
in advance?
literally never filled in a leave form.
Okay, you
I'd
just
just
went.
be like, I'm leaving next week for a week, and they'd be like, okay,
But-
you bring in the revenue, that's fine. You go.
But that's good because some corporate places, they literally tell us 2-3 months in advance.
It's ridiculous.
My latest managing director he's a Dutch fellow, brilliant guy, straight to the point. I tell him, listen, I need to take 2 days leave on this. Is like, take it. One thing is they don't compromise on your mental sanity. It's like whatever break you need, just go and take it.
That's American, eh?
No, so the company is American, but the management, him specifically, he's Dutch.
But American companies take care of their
Because
staff. when it comes to
I
leave,
applied for that
sure.
November leave 2 weeks ago and they declined it. They said you're applying too early.
What?
It's too early.
How
Like,
many pilots are at
it's
Jumbo
like we
Jet?
don't know. We're about 70. It's like I don't know. We don't know how it'll be then.
Come on,
So I'm
seriously.
like, okay. So guys really have to say, like, I have a friend who has a wife who's I think German.
Yeah.
And recently he had to they took back his leave because of high season, and the guy he was flaming. But he was at work flaming because he had to come and work.
Okay.
They denied him leave. He had planned a trip.
So then did he incur a loss on that trip?
I think so.
So the company I work for, you're right. I mean, now that when I think about it in hindsight, my former boss as well was extremely emotionally intelligent. So he'd know when you needed a break. And if there was ever a time where I had to go to, for example, Paris for a conference, he's like, why don't you go via Amsterdam? Company will pay for your weekend. Stay the weekend in
Yeah,
Amsterdam.
you
and
see,
come.
this
That
is
is so cool, man.
Yeah. So but by the way, that was him specifically. The first, and I want to get him on the podcast. I think you probably met Ranjit. Do you know Ranjit Cherikal? I'll connect you guys as well. So my first suit I ever got at the job was bought by him. Just my first golfing lesson, he paid for it. There's stuff he's done where to get me memberships at golf clubs just to make my network increase. So there's a stuff where
it's like a fucking saint, dude.
so Savant, hands down, one of the most guys I respect the most, and I keep in touch with him. But like that's the caliber of management you need when a company is quite small to hone you. So at your level, where you're 70 pilots, can you really give that kind of personal attention to each employee? It's a
let
bit
me ask
difficult,
you,
right?
How much to walk away from your day job? Do you need to be like secure and say, now let me just now maybe focus on this full time, or
On the podcast,
just to leave that corporate environment?
because it'll be tough. Because right now, the way they've changed the commission structures, alhamdulillah, they've done right by us. So it's a lot of money, right? I can't put a number out there. I'll tell you the number offline because again, these guys will watch and like, look at this dipshit, and it's a perspective
And now the
of what-
conversations we've had, a lot of guys will be like, look at these dipshits.
Well, I think the perception would be that a pilot makes a lot more money than he makes.
Should we talk about the percent? Should we just be open? How much?
No. I'm not going to talk about how much I earn.
Yeah,
no.
that's what I feel is like that number specifically. You've seen how much I make, yeah?
Yeah.
So if I can get equivalent or close to that, even 70 or 60% of that, and where I can finance the podcast and we can do this every day and have a studio where we're just recording and get 2 Kims and pumping it out, then I'll take it for sure because I know this is something we'll build, right?
So there's no element of, and I'm asking both of you, there's no element of, although you almost finished your career to like where it could have reached, there's no part of missing, because flying is a very unique thing in terms of it's a bag that you have as well. It's a job. It's a
So like if you leave, you mean
if I leave
it takes away
flying,
from you.
there's a part of me that will be a bit I would want to have access to be able to fly an aircraft periodically.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, if this was like the Western world in terms of progressive thinking, and let's say my podcast or the podcast grows to some grand international thing, an airline with a progressive CEO should actually be the one to approach me and tell me, hey, we see what you're doing. This
Yeah.
is global, it's never been done.
Yeah.
Why don't we come up with a structure where we keep you, we just pay you for days you're
Yeah,
productive.
or we just shoot the podcast in the fucking cockpit,
Yeah.
dude, and that problem is solved.
We keep your license current.
Yeah.
But you won't have a typical roster. The same way, I mean, a lot of our athletes are cops, but they're not cops. You won't see the guy stopping traffic, but
Yeah.
they retain him as a cop for the prestige and the pride of it. But you see, now I feel like my colleagues would. They'd be, if he can do it, how come?
It 100% depends on what the management culture is. One thing I'll say about American companies is,
But you see what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
get what
no,
I'm
no, I get what you mean. They work you to the bone. So if they find out that you're doing things that are not your job, and if your job starts getting affected, let's say if you work in sales and your numbers don't get hit, the first thing they'll point at is what? It's because you're doing a podcast.
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah. And the American companies, you work in silos. Whatever
Yeah.
you are is in your job description. Don't fucking
Don't
veer to
fucking
the left
veer
or
to
the
the
right of that.
Yeah.
As having worked for American companies before, it's
Yeah.
it's just the way they work,
Yeah.
which is nice in a way, but also you can really not fulfill your full potential because you're sort of good at one thing, but you might be good at 10 things, and you're only ever allowed to do one thing. Yeah.
which is again
It's a
back to
double-edged sword. It is.
back to Ranjit with his startup culture. When he started the company, he placed me in different positions. He's like, why don't you go and try finance? I was like, fuck no. Why don't you go and try marketing? Okay, that's interesting. Why don't you go and try sales? And sales is where I thrive because I enjoyed it. I was
I
cheering
fucking
up.
hate sales, dude.
It's
You've got to be someone like you, though. I cannot do that shit.
so here's the thing. It's also based on, are you an introverted person or you're an
Yes.
extrovert? If you're introverted, there are moments at time where, and I am like that as well. I just like moments of peace where I don't want to be around
You don't want
anyone.
to fucking be asking someone to buy shit.
But here's the thing, that's where it's different, is the sales we do is relationship building, because the product we had, we didn't have it ready for the next 5 years. So what I ended up having to do is I go and sit with Farid and just find out what Farid likes. We go for coffees. You
Russian
are-
hookers.
Yeah, exactly. So then, by the way,
by
the way,
you
by
sell,
the way-
you got, yeah.
I've got you covered.
Move to Dubai.
Move to
Yeah,
Dubai.
yeah,
The
yeah.
commission would give me a hard on, bro, because I have that personality of,
You know how?
if I know there is actual merit for me hustling you to buy this product.
Yeah.
My uncle sometimes asks me, how are you getting some of these guests? I'm like, bro, I was an addict. I used to make alcohol appear out of thin air. Come on, you think I can't convince someone to come on the pod?
So let me ask you something then. Speaking of money, when you get the ping in your M-Pesa or your bank account, does it really? Are you one of those like hyper dopamine, like huge amounts of dopamine? Because that happens to me. When I get paid, bro, my fucking or I get a contract. We just got a big production contract for a 1-day job, but it's like really well paid.
Yeah.
And the guy called me today, and I couldn't pick the call, so I called my partner and I said, "Can you call this guy? I'm in a meeting." And then my partner called me and he kept calling me. So I was like, okay, he's either going to tell me we didn't get it or we got it. So let me answer the phone. So I stepped out of the meeting and he said, yeah, we got it. And I got a feeling like if the only thing that was missing was a hard on. You know what I mean? Like everything else was there.
So when
Is
you
that a security thing?
It is.
Yeah,
It is, but it's also like it's a drug, money, right? Money's
Money
a
is a
drug.
drug.
Like
I mean-
think about what he's saying about, and you're saying if that commission would make you.
But you see, for me now, there's a new element. Since I got married, and before I got married, the security thing now feels, I don't have to think about ABC for a while. I
Yeah.
don't have to consciously think about this. When I was solo, it's like, now what can I do? Like, what can I do with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's different.
Farid, let me ask you, when you saw that money coming in, your personality, are you buying things
No.
already?
No.
What are you planning? Is it
I'm-
kids? Is it where
I'm
are you
planning
spending
on
your money?
another trip to see the kids
Yeah.
before the end of the year. I mean, I was planning that anyway. No, I don't know. Money that there's a side. I used to get super excited about money and like to spend. Somehow I just like to know that I have it and I'm comfortable.
Security.
And I'm like, if anything arises, my bills are covered, whatever. I have businesses. I have a few businesses and they make all of them do pretty well to very well.
And your personality is, when you see money, are you a different person? When you have money.
So
you
I
feel
have
you're a
this
completely
fear
different
about myself. When I was in my 30s and I made a lot of money working for Supersport and Mnet as their bureau.
Can we talk numbers?
Yeah, I mean, I would tell you now that I don't know if KRA can come after me, so we're going to decide if we're going to keep it. We might beep this out, but I'll tell you guys.
Yeah.
But you might beep out this number. We started being the bureau for Supersport in 2007, and so we were doing all their bookings, crewing, sending crews all over Africa to shoot football, etc. And our turnover, this is why the bank asked me to buy the car in 2012. They asked me to buy this, or 2014, they asked me to buy this car. Our turnover in one of the years was 1 million shillings. Now, these are guys in their 30s, dude. And that wasn't our money. Don't get me wrong. Please beep that out. But because that was money that was coming in and going out of the company. So, for instance, if Supersport was sending a crew of 50 people to go and shoot football in Nigeria, we were the ones paying for it.
Yeah.
So that is irrelevant to a bank, right? But for the bank, it's like, okay, that's 300 million turnover.
Yeah.
Here, have a car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but we did well, and we had a lot of money. We bought a couple of properties. We kitted out a broadcast truck. We bought vehicles, etc. And I did change.
Yeah.
How much you spend on? I mean, your story's out there. How much you spend on drugs? Just curious.
I did them. Did they make you do that math in rehab, dude?
Man, my damages, collective damages.
No, financial.
Yeah, yeah, man.
They make you calculate. Though.
Yeah.
So I figured
number
out.
were you at?
I was at a
I
Ferrari.
can't say.
Fuck
bro.
off.
I was at a Ferrari.
I can't
Really?
say.
I was at around $350,000
Jesus Christ.
in 20 years on drugs and booze. And I mean, that's like a really low estimate because there's a lot of shit I forgot as well. You know what I mean?
And that's stuff you just.
I mean, my Kenyan friends and my local Asian friends, but they're all Kenyan. So my Kenyan friends, black, brown, whatever, used to say that in the early 2000s, I could go out to Gypsies and drop 40K in the early 2000s.
That's
on
a
a
lot.
night.
That's a
And
lot.
that didn't happen just
Back
once.
back then, that was a lot.
Yeah,
of
and I
money.
go out and drop 20,000. No, I mean 10,000 was not even a fucking, not even an afterthought. But it's interesting when you get kids, when you grow up, when you lose everything like I did in my addiction and had to rebuild.
Did you ever find yourself at like zero or minus?
Sorry.
So how did you keep that going? How did you never reach minus?
I don't know, dude. I have no idea.
You
So
think
you had the wherewithal to once you reach the point, because at the peak of my addiction, if I get broke, hey Saj, bro, you have a 5K.
Yeah.
There's
I tell
no
you,
amount that
addicts can always find money, dude. It's really a weird thing, isn't it? We can always find money. You know, I remember a guy coming to me asking me to borrow money for his kids' school fees, smelling of whiskey. And I said to this motherfucker, I said, you've got to be fucking, this is when I got sober. If I was in active addiction, I probably would have given him the money.
Give him the money.
So he came reeking of, this is not yesterday's booze. This is this morning's booze. And his school fees were like 7K. And I'm like, bro.
You can tell.
Bro.
You can tell. Okay. So I mean, just to end on the sales note I was telling you is me seeing my paycheck change every year. Every month is it's a slight high. But I can imagine for people who just look at their salary, that's going to be the same every month for every year. That's a bit depressing to me, man. In fact, when they were talking about changing the commission structure to annually, I'm like, fuck off. I want it monthly because if I put in the effort this month and I grind some months and then I see that reward, I'm like, oh.
So,
now.
but what's the motivation for you? Do you enjoy the work? I'll ask you the same thing. Because today I went to have a meal at this little Indian cafe in Parklands as I was waiting to come here, which I love. Does really nice dosas.
Bagwanji.
No, it's called Shaimar. It's above the
sister companies, maybe.
yeah, it's above the zucchini.
Okay, yes.
In General Matenge.
General Matenge.
So the guy, I went with my partner, and then I came here. She went home. So she goes there all the time. I met the owner for the first time. So he's like, oh, so what do you do? And I said, oh, do radio, blah blah. And anyway, he went and Googled me and came back, and he was fucking like, I had to
Crazy.
take a picture with the shop sign in the background for him to put on his Google thing.
Yeah.
And something he said to me, and it almost brought a tear to my eye, because my son said the same thing. In Switzerland, my son said, you have a really cool job. You act and you do TV and you're on radio. And he said, you're living your dream. And I was just like, fuck, dude.
You sometimes take it for granted.
Of course, dude.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, so I'll start with you because you're a pilot, which is every kid's fucking
We have
dream.
to start with you because the camera is overheated.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Are you living your dream?
for sure, sometimes I take it for granted. I'm starkly reminded. Sometimes take off at sunrise, literally watch the sunrise airborne. Like, it's dreamy. It's damn near dreamy. However, I feel like for the work I do, they don't pay us enough. I'm paid pretty well. But for the amount of flying that I do, I feel like they should pay us more. So there's and sometimes I move. Are we being spoiled or like?
I think you would find that in any job. You're never. I mean, even you probably feel like that at times.
And it goes back to now what I was saying about how if I didn't have the access to flying a plane, would I be okay? Even if I have more money.
Yeah,
That's something
yeah.
that's in my head constantly.
Can I be honest with you? So I was of the opinion that pilots were glorified Uber XL drivers. And I'll admit that it was, and I've told him this, they just put it in reverse, they put it in drive and take off.
Take
But
that
when,
string.
yeah, string, yeah. With a ball gum, they fit it up over there. But when I sat with him and I experienced what he did experience,
It's phenomenal.
it's phenomenal.
I've sat in the jump seat of my uncle flying Dreamliner to Paris,
It's insane.
and that is just.
That's a building.
It's a
That's
wild
big-
ride,
you
dude.
can, exactly. The size of that Goliath of a machine you're taking. So I
It's actually
understand.
shocking that
Yeah,
that thing
yeah.
flies, by the way.
So I understand the way you may experience it and you're like, you grow numb to it. But then what happens is you get bigger aircrafts, you get different routes, and you get to experience sunsets and sunrise at that level. I don't think you
See
ever
the
grow numb to it.
horizon, you know?
I mean, it's, yeah. I mean, to be.
I was thinking about moving to Hong Kong. Remember in January?
Yeah, yeah.
And I had to like catch myself because I was so focused on the 747.
Yeah.
Like that's literally a building. And I
yeah.
was like, you guys have a chance to go fly a 747. One of my colleagues went.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you guys moving to Hong Kong is not a joke.
Yeah.
It's a serious decision. What happens to the pod? What does it mean for my wife?
Yeah.
So I had to like kind of
Reassess.
Find a nice lady boy
Reassess.
there.
I had to kind of pump the brakes and be like, okay, is this really in line with what I want? Or is this a prestige that I want? Because, bro, walking to the airport, bro, we get a lot of, you're a rock star.
No, it's like the jocks in American high schools.
Yeah.
Completely.
You
Yeah.
get that feeling. It gives you that adrenaline.
Yeah,
pump.
and you
there's
guys look cool, man.
But there's
Thank
nothing
you.
wrong with that. And what you're starting to have with the podcast as well is some slight bit of recognition, which he gets a lot. I mean, literally, that
I can't hide.
I mean, just having someone reach out to you and say, "Hey, Coffee Pump," or "E053,"
You still get shocked?
if-
I still get
I
shocked.
still get
at
shocked.
it.
I still get
It
shocked.
doesn't end. It happened to me today, actually, as I was leaving.
Do you ever get used to it? Because
No,
and the interesting thing about I keep saying about a podcast is people think they know you.
okay, he's got a question. Yeah,
People
go ahead.
think they know you.
Yeah,
because-
yeah.
So
And
they-
you don't know them, but they know you.
They don't come to you to be like, "Hi, my name is."
yeah.
It's
They
like
know you.
They just start
They know
talking
you.
to you.
And then you have to pretend like you know that you met them.
Yeah.
It happened
Yeah.
to me this morning. I was leaving I was counseling someone in a coffee shop, addiction counseling, and we meet in this one coffee shop and chat. And as I was leaving with this lady after the session, another lady said, "Fareed." And I was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" Like I knew
you
her.
never
She's
met
like,
her.
big fan. And I'm like, "Oh, right." It happens to me all the time because I have to pretend that I know we met,
So you don't
even
look
though
like
we
an
didn't. Yeah,
asshole
yeah, yeah.
in case
I have a
she knows.
question about planes though, but I know you have a question, Kim. Did you have a question?
What's your question?
So on the financial side still.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for something sudden that comes in and is your financial thing?
Always have the safety net.
A bit of savings. A bit of savings is one.
Get health insurance for your family because that's the biggest problem in this country. Is when your parents or siblings or loved ones get sick,
Yeah.
and you got to fucking put a pay bill on Instagram. It's a
Guy-
fucking embarrassment, dude.
Guys have Range Rovers, S classes,
And their
Yeah.
parents are not insured.
and no medical
No medical
insurance.
insurance.
So
But
that's
I think from his perspective, he's asking is if he has 100,000 bob, and something comes up and takes it away, how should he sort of plan
Can
for
I
that?
tell you what the Bible says about finances?
Yeah.
It's 7 years of feast and 7 years of famine, and everyone goes through it. You will have 7 good years followed by 7 bad years, and it's relative to who you are. I've gone through I'm at the end of my 7 bad years now because it's the time I've been sober after rehab. I mean, I've not suffered.
So we're expecting 7 good years.
Yeah,
So we better hold hands with
it's
this
feast
fuck.
and famine. It's feast.
Hey, don't leave me! Don't leave me, Marie.
I'll be chained to this fucking couch. I have a question about flying though.
Yeah.
Is that duct tape they put on the wings? That silver
yeah.
tape?
Every so often, yes, it's duct
Why?
tape.
Is it actual duct tape or is it some sort of special aeronautical fucking
it's
super
like-
advanced?
It's duct tape, but it's not holding anything together per se. It's just keeping the integrity of the shape of the aeroplane.
My friend, I was on a flight to
Duct
the
tape.
UK or Paris or Amsterdam. I was sitting on that seat with the wing,
Yeah.
and I'm like, get in my seat.
Wait. there's duct tape. Are you talking about the black?
No,
'Cause
silver.
Okay, because the black one is de-icing.
No, silver tape. So my uncle is, as I said, was a captain. So I have a buddy
Buddy pass.
buddy passes,
What
right?
does that mean?
So I get very discounted flights on KQ. But to be honest with you, if I'm going to Switzerland, it's still cheaper to go on Qatar because it's the Amsterdam to Zurich that is the problem.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I was flying on one of my connections to UK or somewhere in Europe, and I'm like, so you can be upgraded if there's a seat, but if
Yeah.
there's not, it's it's an economy seat. And I'm sitting there, and then I nod off. It's like a midnight flight, and as I wake up in the morning, as we're landing into Heathrow or Schiphol or whatever, I look out my window and I'm like, "Is that fucking duct tape on this wing?" And it kind of freaked me out. So it's an actual,
Yeah, it's really duct tape.
and it's there to just,
Maintain the integrity of the shape.
and that doesn't come off at fucking
No.
7,000 miles an hour and minus fucking 300
No,
degrees or whatever.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It
Okay,
doesn't.
that's interesting.
That's pretty standard by there.
yeah.
Oh, and then I started noticing it on other airlines as well.
Yeah.
So
They start doing it. This is so the duct tape is meant to
Maintain.
Maintain.
You see, for a wing to fly, for
Yeah.
the lift to work, less pressure, high pressure. That's how planes fly.
yeah.
So that shape is very specific.
so it's always on that bit that goes like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're at the front.
So okay, now as to wind things down for what Farid asked about the career and the progression with this particular job, and I think your question was whether we want to stay on it and what do we find we get.
No,
from
are
it,
you
right?
living your passion? Are you living your passion or purpose?
Purpose? So I will say everything I am today was because of this job and because of that one man who took special interest and taught me different things about the way the world works. And in the tech space, I think it brought me a lot of knowledge and enjoyment, knowing things. It's ever since he's left the company, I've become a bit numb to that, and now I'm sort of chasing the financial independence in order to set something like this, in order to be able to go and shoot a movie and work on a movie and work on a
So your
script.
passion is filmmaking
Filmmaking, yeah.
or audiovisual.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning towards. And I haven't
Interesting.
told you about the film project we're working on,
No.
right? We'll share more on that.
Am I getting a role in it?
Of course, as the bartender.
I was typecast at everything. I was
Yeah.
a womanizing, drug dealing in all the things I've ever started.
So, and this film came to fruition, and how it was prepared was through the podcast, because it connected me to a director in Australia, it connected me to an actor locally, and we wanted to do something together. And I had this idea that I put it down, and they're like, you know what? We're going to go and pitch it to Netflix. Netflix said that they don't want it for the Kenyan market because the audience is too small. Can we adapt it to the South African market or the Nigerian market? And we felt that it was just a quick buck. So we ended up pitching it now to different investors. So Saudi is one of the guys that are looking at building films in Kenya. So Koth, who's the director, has pitched it to the Red Sea Film Fund. There are two projects we've submitted. There's a movie and there's a series. And it's based in Kenya about the different cultural integrations based on a cop story, and one is based on a bounty hunt and a cross-country chase across Kenya, where two characters.
cool.
Yeah, so imagine a cross-country film that showcases, Shalby Desert,
Kana.
all these wild places, and these guys are being chased by different
Parklands.
characters.
You know-
So
you know-
yeah, for
Starts
sure.
in Parklands.
That
For
could
sure.
be easily also used in tandem with marketing Kenya. Like,
Kenya
Yeah,
tourism.
exactly. So
like
but you see, in order to do that, I made a promise to myself: is if that happens, I will hand in my notice. I'll give a 3-month notice, and
So Eric is living his passion because he is saying that if he can't fly, it would be very difficult to do this full time.
Yeah.
You want to go into your passion, which
Yeah.
is to create content,
Content.
i.e., films and TV
Yeah.
shows and podcasts.
I'd love to see
And
myself.
you
on
would
the
give
red
up the
one,
job you have, which clearly pays very well.
Yeah.
Even though you haven't told us how much that is.
but can I elaborate on my dynamic just to make it clear? And I think I've shared this with you. He knows the kind of flying I want to do. There's a bunch of guys called Cockpit Casual, and I'll
Such brilliant.
share with you this off camera.
We'll put that here, cockpit casual on the
Because
page.
these guys, they're all ex-airline guys. And what they do is, post-COVID, because remember, all airlines are shut down. So they returned planes to the lesser, back to where they were from. So post-COVID, when these planes are being recalled, they formed a company that does the ferries for all these airlines.
Fucking genius.
And there was so much, they're still doing all of that right now. So these guys fly multiple Boeings, multiple Airbus, and then the FAA has a category called private class. So some of their rules are kind of like bent.
Yeah.
So they can fly longer hours. It's less formal. These guys are in shorts. These guys are watching Netflix in the cockpit. They're flying a Dreamliner 4 guys just chilling,
The
talking
whole
shit,
plane to themselves.
eating snacks.
Do you think they get fucked up?
No,
Of
no,
course,
no, no. Like on board, no.
No, maybe not.
Pilots, even as an addict, I never flew drunk or
Yeah.
anything.
But it's a big problem in the aviation industry, I'm sure,
I
right?
saw that guy being caught yesterday.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've just watched Flight.
He was caught.
The video
No, but
that came,
these guys, in terms of sobriety, they're very, they're
No,
apex.
I was joking.
But the
yeah.
show is called Cockpit Casual because it removes the nyef out of flying.
Yeah.
I just saw these guys. He showed me a video where
Oh.
they take off, and they literally have. I think it was a 747.
Yeah.
These guys literally go to the back. They're sleeping. All the pilots are there. They have the entire place. They're
Guys doing
exploring the
press
plane.
ups, exercise.
He's doing exercise in the.
So I tell some of my colleagues, and I think sometimes they think I'm delusional when I tell them that's what I want to do. I don't see how, if I was to really put my mind to it, and I transition to this, it gets big enough where I come within their purview
Could
somehow.
be podcast in the sky.
That as well.
Can we do something like that? Can we work out something on agreement with an airline?
Couldn't
that you have?
Jumbo Jet sponsor a podcast in the sky?
I'd have to pitch it.
Pitch it.
Well, why don't we create a deck? No, seriously. I mean, we're kind of pitching it right now, but why couldn't we create I mean, doing creative decks for audiovisual content is what I do. Why can't I start thinking about it?
We'd
Yeah.
have to prove the return on the investment
Yeah, but
because they'd have to charter the whole aircraft.
But
No,
would
so
they
it-
have to charter the whole aircraft, or could you have two of your jumbo jet pilots flying the plane, you
Yeah.
as a pilot sitting there, they remove the first 6 rows, put up a
Yeah.
little table like smaller than this, 3 seats, mics, 3 of us sitting there, and people could watch that podcast happen as it flies.
But it can work because they did some DJ thing.
Yeah, that was with us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
with you?
Yeah, it was the Friday flight.
Yes.
It was the Friday flight on a flight.
So it can work.
That's pretty sick.
So we had a table set up outside at
They
JKIA,
had to. I remember when we joined. That story is famous. Whenever we joined Jumbo, they like to floss about it.
and then DJ Adrian did the Friday flight, which was his segment on a flight to Diani, I think it was. Yeah.
They talked about how they had to pitch to Kenya Civil Aviation Authority
Yeah.
to just justify the safety
But
element.
it's the forward thinking that I like. I don't see why we couldn't do this once a month on a flight. We do 3 episodes weekly in a studio like this, and once a month we go somewhere.
That'd be
and,
pretty sick.
And then
That would be sick.
That'd be so
And then you
nice.
see what that will do for me. Although it's a bit selfish. That can put me in the purview of the likes of those guys for Cockpit
Cockpit
Casual.
casual. Yeah, but we
Because my
want-
dream
Yeah,
is
but
because those guys, what they do, the pilots they contract work like 2 months a
But
year.
all this equipment is mobile, meaning that we could do an episode on the flight and then an episode at the destination.
I mean that's why these guys we've done a podcast on a car. There's nothing wrong with doing podcasts on that. This is all possible. It's just getting
Yeah,
the
so
right
say
approvals.
say we do a different route every month. So it's highlighting the
different destinations.
different destinations for Jumbo Jet. But then at the location, if we're in Kisumu, we go to the lake and set up.
By the way, that would be so sick.
So we do 2
So
episodes
let's
in one.
try write a pitch.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay.
You'll have it on Monday.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
That's how I roll, bro.
Okay.
By the way, did we answer your question about financial?
We absolutely did not.
Okay. Yes.
Here's the answer. If you get wiped out financially by a sudden event, you're fucked.
but
No. You just plan, dude. It's all about planning. 100,000 shillings. If you are holding 100,000 shillings today, put 50,000 in a fixed deposit.
Please do. Let's say, let me
Do you
ask
have
you
a
this.
bank account? Let's start there.
Yeah, I have a dormant.
It's dormant.
Dormant. Okay, but let me ask you this: when you have 1,000 bob, how do you spend it? Let's just say, let's just say, let's just say 100,000 bob. If you have 100,000 bob, how much do you put in savings? How much do you spend? What do you spend on? Can you cut down on things? And the other thing is you like women, because I've seen your TikTok reels, so you spend a lot over there.
No, it's not like I like women.
Women like
that.
you. Women like
It
you.
happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Can this just happen just like that?
But here's the thing, Kim. When you get 1,000 bob, what we're trying to say is 50% of it you should just put away and assume you only have 500 bob to spend.
Okay.
So your entertainment, your expenses, your transport all come from that 500 shillings. The problem is, and I'm guessing it because I know you quite well, is when you get 1,000 bob, you spend 1,500. And so when an incident happens where you need,
Yeah, that. You get 1,000 bob and spend 1,500.
yeah,
That's
so-
the Kenyan
That's the
problem.
Kenyan problem.
Fuliza was
Fuliza.
created for people like you, bro.
Exactly. So that Fuliza account gets a lot of benefits, and it's a huge problem for young ones. So assume whatever you have, 50% belongs to the bank. That you touch for a rainy
So
day
I've
fund.
only started doing this because I'm coming out of my 7 years of famine, and as I have to make it clear, I have not suffered.
Yeah.
But it is less money than I've earned, and partly because I left radio. One of my businesses fell through, and it's life. I'm now starting to put X amount every month into an FD, and it can be some months I put in
Percentage.
200,000,
Okay.
some months I put in 10,000.
Okay. But you're just putting in.
If I get a good MC job and they pay me 300K for a 2-day job, I can put 150 in. You know what I mean?
Is it a dollar account?
No, it's a shilling account.
Please put dollars.
I have a dollar account.
Please put all your money in dollars. That's what I've been telling him.
Okay.
Is because what's happening is our currency is being artificially hedged. By the time election circles around next year, it's going to be fucked. If you have in dollars, guess what? You make the 30% return.
Yeah, that's fine. So I can convert. It's same bank.
Just
So I can take my shillings in, but I have also clients that pay me in US dollars, and I do not convert that into shillings.
So that's good. That's good.
But I don't have an FD in dollars, so that's good advice.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that time we need to crack on with a couple of things.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to talk about was because we haven't touched on local politics, which is really weird for us, but that's fine. But Harambee Stars, quickly, is anyone else? Like they're playing a group game on Sunday that has no bearing. They're in the quarterfinals. Did anyone see that shit coming?
I didn't even know our stadiums look like. By the way, when someone showed me the picture of the stadium,
you've driven on the expressway at night when there's a game. I'm like, what city am I in?
Goes back to what we're just touching on right now. Incentive.
Yeah.
You guys, if someone think about some of the backgrounds of these players. They've been given $1 million per win, 500K per draw. They've been promised 2.5 million if they win on Sunday. A porn star has promised them around once the tournament is over, if they want.
A porn star?
Kenyan porn star.
We have Kenyan porn stars.
We do. Only fans. Yeah.
She's called Alicia Kanini.
Shout out Alicia Kanini.
Can you find her on? Never mind.
We keep Kim away from her. That's where all your money is going.
I used to boat a chick called Kanini. Is it not the same?
They've been promised a house. Although there's some controversy around that because, like, hey, how are you just giving out the affordable houses? So the captain of the team, of course, is a very smart guy, and he makes sure every time on camera. Na sasa pia tulikuwa tunataka kuuliza.
I hope they see all this money, dude.
So far he's been honoring. Okay. He's been honoring the whatever he's
and it's the entire team, not just the starting 11.
The entire team. Which in fact, he even said. Now the president himself exclusively said, "Now pay out to our bench."
But can I ask a question though? We're a broke ass country. Where's this money coming from?
We're not a broke ass country.
No, bro,
we just pretend to be broke.
We're a broke ass country with a rich ass president.
Okay.
No, it depends on who's asking for the money. That's where we're broke. So what I'll tell you is you're so right in the sense that money incentivizes.
Bro,
have you seen how much talent we have over here? Just look at that stadium and how they managed to put things together.
Morocco, dude. Morocco in the World Cup was a fucking champion, dude. They made it to the semis, right?
Exactly.
But my question is this. I mean, I think it's great because not once have we heard about, you know, the sort of frailty of politics and the elections, and it seems like this football, it's a power move by our president. I have to say that.
It's united.
We are not. There was a whole fear. I remember listening to Capital in the morning just before this tournament kicked off, where there were rumors that Gen Z was going to go to the stadiums and stop games from happening. If Kenya goes on to win this thing, my question is, and I think it's a fair question, is this points for our president?
I think it is.
I think so. Definitely some bonga.
So can football have this kind of impact?
Because we've had a streak of, and I think we've almost positioned ourselves as a very negative people. Yeah. In as much as things have not been going well, there's always an upside. Not everything is bad. So
it goes back to Rome, right?
This football thing, the Colosseum. This has helped for sure. But now the thing is, based on what happened last Sunday, because he also held a concert at State House for the youth, and the guy showed up, and one of the most famous rappers right now, maybe you guys might not have heard, Backbencher is called who? Backbencher, Dania S-Class. It's a viral song right now.
I'm sure that's not within Farid and my Spotify playlist.
The guy performed, but so what he's positioning himself is now, I think, all that he's been able to accumulate, this is now the season for buying people back.
But you know why he's doing it? It's a Roman Colosseum. Okay. When you're going through famine, when you're going through sickness and drought, how do you get people's attention away from it? Sports.
But my question is this. So let's assume they win Chan.
Yes.
Or get further on, semifinals, final, whatever. Okay? You've changed the lives of 40 people, right? By giving them 5 million shillings each in this whole tournament, or 10, whatever it is. does the average Kenyan? It's not going to help the average Kenyan to say, "Oh, he made a
But-
football player rich."
It'll help the story.
There's more happening. I'm sure you guys are keen. If you notice, I feel like the president has changed PR teams
I think he has.
because the PR now is more like if you look at even how the videos appear,
He's more approachable.
things are
He started posting on Instagram as well.
yeah. But you can see a change even
No,
in how
but
things.
he's the defensiveness is gone. The accessibility is there. Whatever strategy he's using, I think it's definitely working. I was in an Uber for the first time going to the airport on my flight to Switzerland, coming back, sorry, from my 2 a.m. because of baggage claim at JKIA, which is a ridiculous proposition altogether. You know,
I have a guy by there.
no,
You have a guy.
They offer a service where
trade wins.
no trade wins are like the bigger. These guys cast you cannot have to deal with your luggage once it comes. To
Oh,
the
so
airport.
it's like my 5K guy.
I think it's probably even the same guy.
But you know what's
probably the
Because
interesting?
he approached, he timed me when I arrived at work. He made sure he meets me at the stairs. He talked about the podcast the whole way. And on the way, he gave me his card. He's like, yeah, guys, what we do
Okay,
is...
so if he's a podcast viewer, it means he knows me. Can you send me his number?
Yeah, same.
I'll send you.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, with the cab driver on the way back, I'm going to go back to baggage claim in a minute before we wind up. I asked all my Uber drivers, what do they think of the
Exactly.
current state of the country and politically, and he was so positive.
The first
and
time.
he said we've got to do some hard shit to get it right, and it really made me think. You know, Trump is not a wise, fucking coherent, normal person, but I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here a little bit, but some of the decisions he's made, which have been sort of ripping off a Band-Aid, are things that should have been done over the course of 5, 10, 15, 20 years, probably back to Obama's days, maybe even before to George W. Bush's days. I do not agree with a lot of what's happening politically in this country, but is because Kibaki was a real soft. It was a soft. We had a soft life.
Yeah.
Uhuru was just kind of
Yeah.
Super PR.
yeah, but there wasn't a lot of bad shit that went down. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It was just is.
We got a nice road out of it,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. Is it possible that Ruto is being so strategic that he is saying, okay, I'm going to fucking take the bullets for 5 years because I'm going to fix some systemic issues in the country?
Yeah.
Is that a possibility? Because you raised it in the
Huge.
last podcast,
I did,
and we
yeah.
were going off about, no, fuck that, this should be this way.
Yeah.
Is it possible that we have to go through the hardships now for this country to be a middle-income country, which is what we've been promised since Moy's time, since Moy left power? We've been promised to become a middle-income country since then. Now we're
Yeah.
going on 25 years. Is it possible
I think
that we have to go through this?
so. That rhetoric is actually, it's come back to me now. The fact that you're saying it, it's starting to make the waves. The one who gave me that rhetoric was Faris Karyuki. He's a cloud guru, one of my closest industry friends, and he's just obsessed with whatever's going on. And he's trying to say that if you actually compare like for like what's going on right now, ignore the
noise.
noise, right? In terms of cost of certain products, in terms of like look at farmers and what they've been compensated with. If you look at the Somali population and the benefits they've received, things have generally improved. If you look at the dollar price and what he's trying to do, we were drowning before. And all he's trying to do is basically find a place to take that water out. Now, it may go in someone else's pool and they'll start screaming, but he's trying to look at the bigger picture, which is rhetoric that I have seen now come up. And the fact that you're saying it, it means it's making the words right.
I just feel like my mind is being, I don't want to say changed. I just feel like I'm starting to understand why we have to go through what we're going through.
Yeah.
I see.
Just before you, on your point, but you see, the thing is, the point of corruption, Fareed, I've seen families who are close to Ruto, and I've seen the kind of money they're getting. So the fact still remains that corruption is
So
quite
that
there.
doesn't help.
So here's the thing: there's
But that's world over.
no,
Let's keep it real.
yeah.
That kind of thing is world over. Leaders benefit. In different versions. In Europe,
if you become president, won't we benefit?
no, but in Europe, even you.
Fucking better.
Yeah, of
No,
course,
but even
yeah,
in
exactly.
Europe, they have their own
He's
version of
buying a jet. That's a podcast jet.
For real, in Europe, even in Europe, they have their own version of the elitist. It's more refined. It's less crude.
No, they're just better at hiding it.
Yeah, they're way better.
Way
If you
better.
look at Trump's family, have made a fortune in this
Huge.
dispensation.
They made Trump's connection to Epstein disappear, dude.
What about
That in itself is a miracle.
What about his crypto coin
But I'm
that he
seeing-
launched?
Yeah.
How much that doubled his net worth
But I'm s-
overnight,
But
right?
I'm seeing a business opportunity here if we're meticulous in terms of Remember how we laughed about how we would look like dipshits wearing like UDA shirts? But there's a way to position the messaging and make it permeate that can be lucrative just by being objective. Like,
And I think objectivity is the answer. Everyone wants to hammer the government because the price of unga has gone high, or the price of fuel, or the fact that the shilling is. You just said right now, hold on to those dollars because we don't know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
right? They're printing money, and printing money means inflation is going to
Inflation,
be a
correct,
problem,
yeah.
right? I just feel if you look at Uhuru left Twitter because he was getting hammered so much. Kibaki was an economist, but he had to come on stage and say, "This is my only wife." Right? These are weaknesses
Yeah.
in people, right? In a position like that, Trump doesn't have weaknesses, right? And one thing you'll say about Trump is he might be a liar, he might be a fucking whatever.
He'll never admit he's wrong.
He's authentically himself.
Yeah.
We also have a president who's authentically himself. He's never apologized.
Never.
He's from what he told us on day one when he was in tears at Casey or
winning,
Bomas, whenever it was,
yeah.
where he was announced the winner.
Yeah.
He mentioned that it was going to be tough times.
He did.
Now when he's getting hammered by journalists and bloggers and influencers, and he's coming out, he's not changed his story. I don't know. I could be wrong. All I'm saying is I respect a man who does not
Falter.
waver from his message.
Yeah.
I will always respect a man who can keep his word throughout his journey.
and these are amidst some of the toughest times we've ever faced.
If it was any of us, we'd be like, okay, I'll change direction.
We've never seen
you know-
Gen Z protests like we saw.
Correct.
We've never seen 20,000 people on Thika Road trying to come to town. So these are some of
And
the toughest.
amidst all of that,
And then also the visibility. Everything is scrutinized. Every little thing. That watch you're wearing, that is 20 million. That shirt is like everything is being scrutinized.
and with all of that being said, he stayed on brand.
Right.
That's impressive.
So you know what's the best way to get answers? President Ruto, why don't you either come to Coffee Pump or your with the three of us,
yeah.
and let us have this conversation.
Yeah.
Let us have this
Because,
conversation with him, and
truthfully,
we try and figure out.
And because
Yeah.
we're impressed.
Yes,
We are absolutely impressed. Every other person in the world would buckle down at some
Under
point
this pressure.
and say, I can't do this anymore, or hey, I'm going to fix it and do it this way. There's only one time where I would say, when he said to the Gen Zs, let's have it, you came out after the first protest and said you're terrorists or whatever, hooligans or terrorists, and the next day said, let's have a dialogue. That was the only time I saw a little bit of, but okay, it was new in the office, whatever. Since that point, he's been like, we're doing this, and it's going to be hard, and we will get to where we need to go.
I think you're right in terms of him changing the PR, because that tone is also
Yeah,
definitely
I'm telling
changed.
you, if you're someone who watches or looks at social media and has been watching how government have been represented,
Yeah.
you can see a change in everything. It's looking more professional.
Yeah.
Like, I'd use American as the litmus. Like, they've definitely changed their PR team. And I remember when I sat down with Babu, I asked him point blank, like, you guys are being shined at PR. You know, PR, even PR, we're not even asking for the real road. Where's the PR? You guys are being unable. So, I'll say there's a business opportunity here, guys.
Okay.
No, and let's. But I think the invitation stands.
in the invitation stance, like
anyone in from Mudavadi to, okay, not the VP, the president, you're welcome. Truthfully,
I've been
because
trying
it'd be
to
so
get- yeah.
interesting to have because I want to know.
yeah, it would be quite
I
interesting.
want to
just from
know
the man directly.
if it is just PR or if you actually believe that we have to suffer for a little while, because we've, corruption's going to be there. You pointed it out rightfully so, Eric. Corruption's going to be there in every country.
And then and also let's also talk about corruption, bro. Corruption is in Kenya damn near systemic. We've all been a part of corruption. It's all something most people are willing to partake in at different levels. It could be stealing from a bank, or just bribing a cop, or just skipping a red light. Like we all have. He's a direct reflection of us.
Yes,
Let's be
correct.
real.
Yeah.
Also,
It's true. It's an image of who we are as a people,
Yeah.
right? How much time do you have, Farid?
I in the next 10 minutes,
Okay.
we're almost at 2 hours, guys.
So as Eric says, as we want to land the plane, and I want to move on from politics.
you want to land the plane? That's new.
Yeah,
you
of course.
You guys are usually into buildings.
Land into the building.
Blow my load.
yeah.
That's the end. And the money shot. We were in the coast with Rena's family. And so it was breakfast like with Lantana, Galu Beach. Very nice place. You eat your breakfast there, and then you go to different restaurants at night and lunches, and everyone different time someone pays for the table, um, and I missed one dinner. Rena and I missed. She wasn't feeling well at a sushi. I don't like sushi. I'm not a fan. I mean, I eat it, but it's not. I wouldn't choose to go to a sushi restaurant, and then the next night we had an early dinner at a restaurant called Salty Squid, which I love.
It's a nice.
Yeah,
we went there
yeah.
twice
And
last year.
it was me who was paying for the whole table, and it's not
It's
whatever.
wonderful.
cheap.
And we got back to the hotel at around 8 or 9 p.m. or 7 or 8 p.m. And then they were having a party in Rena's cousin's villa. And Rena's like, "Are you coming?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Why?" I said, "Because I don't want to." And her cousins, the next day, they were like, "What? Like, you don't like us?" I said, I think you guys are amazing. I said, "But I also need."
My own time.
No, I
Yeah.
wanted to. So I said, they said, "What did you do?" I said, "I went to the restaurant at Lantana. I had the calamari, and then I had half a chicken or quarter of a chicken, and then I went to the room, and I was still hungry, so I ordered a dessert to the room, and I had some water, and I had a cup of tea, and I watched Netflix." And they were like, "Oh, was it fun?" I said, "It was the best night I've had here."
Yeah,
so far,"
exactly. Yeah.
because I don't want to be somebody else.
True.
Can I just harp on that a bit, because that's something I struggle with, and I think it ties with our nature of being an addict, people pleasing.
Yeah.
That's something I'm literally trying to shell.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I've been so concerned about what do they think?
What do people think?
What do they think? And then, bro, most people, first of all, don't give a shit that deeply. One.
Yeah.
And why am I living for anyone? Like, why should I
At
change?
the risk of
Okay,
your happiness.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you guys this. This ties into work. Whenever we'd go for conferences, my former boss, who again I look up to, but he was a psycho in terms of going out. I make a joke that I think this guy used to get high because we would go entertain clients. After a day of conferencing, you have a late night dinner, you go clubbing, you get back at 4, and then you start your meeting at 8 again, and you go on for a week. Now, this is coming to Nigeria. So Nigeria, I'm going for the Africa Peering Forum and for the launch of our data center over there. Monday night is a social. We're landing on Sunday. I just want to take Sunday easy. I don't want to meet anyone. I just want to go to the hotel, try and get a workout, watch Netflix. Monday, yeah, go socialize a bit, but in the evening, I don't want to do the networking stuff because we've got Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to meet everyone. But then the expectation is from the former boss, every night we need to meet with someone. We need to go and meet this. We need to do that. I mean, as a sales guy, I get it, but the huge emphasis of my boss was you can't be a sales guy if you can't drink. And so that's how I started the drinking and just getting wasted. And I don't enjoy that shit, man. I would rather
He's not an addict at all, dude.
Yeah.
You don't enjoy that shit?
What?
I mean, so what I would end up doing is, I mean, wherever I go, I'd get on Bumble first. So I'll try and get dates because that helps me calm down. But then after that, fuck off. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see anyone. I just want to be in my room again, watching Netflix, looking at the table mounters, just relaxing, and then go back at it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Is that wrong of me to feel that this
It's
new
perfectly
now,
fine.
now because the boss is not there, I'm trying to take advantage of not having a dinner every single night.
I think that as you get older, settling into who you authentically are,
Yeah.
and not having apologies. If I wanted to go for that dinner, if I wanted to go for the hangout in the room, I would have gone.
Okay.
I just
Okay. So let me throw another thing at you guys. May 2026, Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out. I'm planning on taking 2 weeks leave, taking my 4K TV and my PS5 somewhere where no one is there, and just leave me the fuck alone. Let me play my video games. Is there something wrong with that?
No, that's something you like, bro. You work hard.
Maybe you guys show up
No,
for a
bro,
night, we do a
you-
podcast, and then fuck off.
yeah.
Listen, you work hard, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you can afford to actually do that. So why not?
But also, don't you want to do what makes you happy?
But here's the thing, and in fact, this is such a good segue culture-wise. So Desi cultures, the amount of people that fucking visit us, and we have to go and see these guys, and the expectation is I have to do
I've
this.
always wanted to ask him about that
And-
because always like my so and so is here.
And-
Who's
and-
coming?
Yeah, exactly. And now, in fact, I'm sorry to bring this up, but you recently lost a loved one, and I'm sorry for that.
Thank you.
The thing is with funerals for us is quite quick. If someone passes away today in the morning, we've buried the person in the
Yeah.
evening, right?
Yeah.
And the cultural expectation is you just get over with it, and then there's 40 days to mourn for whoever the wife is, but then there's constant visitors. Now with African cultures, what shocked
You
me
guys
is
drag that shit out, man.
first of all, there's you get added to a WhatsApp group.
You guys have to fight.
So everyone has to add money to it, right? You're giving money for this big day where there's speeches, and someone has to announce that he studied this much, and then there's a lunch, and then there's a prayer, and there's this,
Which you've paid for.
yeah, which you've paid for, which I find extremely odd, right? Because you're sort of holding on to the wound, and also on the flip side, weddings as well.
Can I touch on that? Because
Yeah, please,
I
please.
attended an engagement function for his community the other day, and the most impressive thing was how swift and efficient. We showed up, the couple was introduced, one prayer was done by the brother, then we mingled, we had a meal, and then we went.
But-
if it was an African function, my goodness. So this is Eric. He studied in hey. He's a Christian. He's saved, and this is so and so all the way from like introductions would have taken at least an hour.
But your wedding,
So no,
weddings in our community
Yeah.
are serious events.
I mean that's what I want. Let's start with funerals, for example.
Yeah.
How do you guys typically do the
So
funerals? Is it
for
like a 1 day
Ismailis,
event?
we're 24 hours.
24 hours, yeah.
My dad was held for a few days in the morgue because my sister was flying in from the US.
Yeah.
My mum was literally, because the whole family was already here because we knew she was going to die, was done. She died on Friday. Saturday, we were at the mosque. That afternoon, prayers in the morning. Then we took her to the Smiley Cemetery and she was buried. So 24 hours.
24 hours.
For so the gentleman who's just passed away is Hindu Punjabi.
Yeah.
So my dad died in 2003, and my closest friend at the time was a guy called Arjun, whose dad became like my dad.
Stop. Yeah.
I have it's bittersweet for me because Arjun and I fell out about just after my mum passed away, so about 3 years ago, and I haven't seen his dad in a long time, so it's a bit tough.
Fell out like completely.
We haven't spoken for a couple of years.
Did you meet him today?
No, I'll see him tomorrow.
Addiction related?
No. But I've been communicating. I've sent him a message, obviously. I tried to call him. His phone was off. But he has two brothers, and both brothers have been communicating with me.
Yeah.
To the point on Diwali, his dad would give me money along with them. So but I saw his mom and dad at another memorial a few weeks ago, and his mom looked at me and said, "You don't come and visit us anymore." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll come," and I didn't. So it's a bit bittersweet for me. So I was talking to someone about it, but they were like, "Look, at the end of the day, you can't control these things, and it's fine." So he died yesterday. He'll be cremated tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do men deeply fall out on? And was it money?
Yeah.
Okay.
money.
I figured
It was money. And to be honest with you, it was my fault.
Okay.
And I take full responsibility. I think the way he handled it was wrong.
But the fact that you're owning up to it.
Yeah.
that's
And
always
I
a
sent
big
him a
step,
message saying, "Look, I said, I'm really sorry about Pops. Please call me if you want."
Yeah.
And his two brothers have been communicating with me.
Okay.
And obviously, I'm not going to the cremation because the Sikhs do it. Do you watch? I can't.
Yeah, I've been for one of my friends. His mom was cremated, and we were so close to her. She had cancer. That was tough to watch, man. That was
with
really
Sean
tough.
Carter Villas, which is the cremation that I went to, and another Mzungu friend of mine called Marcus.
Yeah.
They just put them in the incinerator. And
I don't have any, even like in our cult, that thing for viewing the body. I'm like, for what?
So here's
People
the
say
thing.
closure.
What I want to ask you is, this money raising, is it a cultural thing where, for example, there's someone who's, and I understand if you're doing it for someone who can't afford it, but there are people who are working class, they can't afford it, and for their weddings, like, motherfucker, I don't know you. We met once at a meeting, and you're adding me to a fucking group.
when I see like something demise group on WhatsApp,
Yeah,
I'm like,
I get added to
exit
so many
group.
groups. So,
No,
so
it's first of all, it's cultural, but negative. It's bad manners.
for your wedding,
Cultured. No, I didn't have any fundraising,
that's
bro.
yeah, exactly.
My
So-
brother's getting married. There's no way we're changaing. What the?
So it's a weird thing, right? I mean, and I don't want to step on any toes culturally, but do you think it's high time we move on from such stuff? Because first of all, you're putting financial
thing is-
pressure.
the thing is-
If you can't afford to get married, then don't get married. And I mean, burials are different.
Oh,
By the way, I was added to a group to fund for a wedding, and which I was told I was not invited to.
or marry within your means. That's another option.
Yeah, but this goes back to the conversation about you need people. Why do we need to show off?
Why do we need to live beyond our means?
I remember I'm just as we wind down, I've been married twice. So I'm twice divorced because I'm a real man.
So was that like each wedding function, each time there was like 7 different functions?
No, both were Mzungus, dude. It was one day.
Fucking legend, man.
I got married in my parents' house, like their backyard.
Yeah.
Bro,
'Cause
you know, if I
that was
for the married, like if I get married, I want to just do a simple 1-day function. But my dad was telling me, boss, do you know how many? So in our religion, you have to feed the poor, and it's a sign of blessing. So there has to be one function with like 5,000 people involved.
5,000.
5,000.
Where do you host that?
Sarali or I think Sarali.
What do you pay for that?
No, so you do simple. You basically do dags of biryani, which is much cheaper. You get like 10 dags of biryani. It's just biryani
There's
and
no
cokes.
booze, right?
There's no booze. I mean, that's the biggest thing is for
Hey,
us.
5,000 people booze.
Booze, that's crazy. No, so
But you know, my wedding, my immediate ex-wife, not my first
When did you
ex-wife,
first get married?
in the US,
fucking
to a
phrases.
very fly Italian American chick named Summer.
Were you
Summer
like
We're
Murray.
really
gonna
young?
put up over here.
Dude, if I, hey, she was hot, dude.
Were you like really young?
23.
23. That's
Oh,
young. That's
okay.
very young.
And then divorced
It
a year and a half
was
later.
love
Yeah.
at first.
I have her name tattooed to my chest, so that's a mistake.
Really?
Yeah. I have 5 tattoos, but only one is a woman's name.
I don't know. I'm hearing Kylie Minogue in that wedding. I don't know.
And then the second one was to a Swiss woman who I met over camel milk, because I said that we'll talk about that in another podcast. But my Leia, my Swiss ex-wife, not my American ex-wife. Hopefully, there's no more. She wanted to get married in Switzerland,
Mm.
and we flew my mom to meet her parents from Nairobi. My mom is very westernized and very modern and she was
Right.
very posh. So there was no like culture shock or
Is your
anything.
mom? Was your mom Gina Dean's sister?
Yes,
Ah.
my mom was the oldest of 4. Gina's the youngest.
Okay.
My mom had lived in Paris and the UK, and so she like Switzerland
was
was not
westernized, yeah.
the white people didn't impress her, whatever, you know what I mean. But we took her and we sat with the families, and my mom was talking about, we have to have Indian elements in the Swiss wedding, and the Swiss family's like, no, it's all Swiss. So I stood up and I said, fuck everyone, I'm paying for this wedding, and I asked my wife, what do you want? It was such a power move, dude. Like, it was such a power move.
Yeah.
So my wife planned her own wedding. We went to the big outlet, got all the big bottles of booze that people would want. We paid for everything. And there was a pride in that.
Yeah.
There was a pride in that. It wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what's more expensive than getting married in Switzerland is getting divorced in
in
Switzerland. That one broke me 2 years ago. That set me back a lot.
Half.
The wedding was cheaper.
Damn.
Let me ask you.
Because
So
you have lawyers, dude.
do you do prenuptial agreements then?
No.
Okay, but apparently
They're not really recognized
so
here.
apparently in Qadi's court, if you get married through Qadi's court,
Mm.
this 50% mambo does not work because Islamically, I think a woman is given a certain percentage, not half. I'll do more research on that. But when I was asking my mzee about marriage, he said, "Well, you want to do a prenup? Just do it through Qadi's court. Islamically, you're taken
Then
care of."
you can also say, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you, and you're divorced.
Something of the sort. But now we're landing the plane. I think that was a good place to end.
That last question. Does divorce hurt? Like,
No.
you came out feeling free.
No, I came out feeling broke from my Swiss divorce. My American divorce was much cheaper.
Not broken though.
No, Leia and I, we had already gotten through the hard shit in our separation. And I remember I took Rena, my partner, to Switzerland, as I mentioned last year, for my son's 7th birthday, to meet Leia, her partner, my kids, her family. I'm very close to Leia's
So
parents.
you're very
by the way.
mature about it as
Yeah,
well.
I was with Leia's mum and my kids twice on this trip. My former mother-in-law, and last time my former brother or brother-in-law took us. So we're good. So we were driving on a bus. So Leia was saying on the bus ride, "This is where Papa and I got married to the kids." And I 2 minutes later said, "This is the building where we got divorced." So it's my kids are cool with it. My eldest I wouldn't say totally understands, but understands what's going on.
Last question, Farid.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one to end. If you would go back in time, would you ever get married? Knowing what you know now, to any of the women you met or a different woman?
Yes, to have my 2 sons. Absolutely.
Okay, fuck the kids.
Okay, if the kids were not in the picture, I'll tell you right now, and this is probably going to hurt Leia. If I got back from rehab and she had left and there were no kids, there would be no reason to speak again. We could have done everything through email, and if she said I want a divorce, I'd say fucking sort it out. I'm not coming to Switzerland. Fuck you. That would have been my response.
I think from experience as now a married guy, if God forbid my marriage was not to work, I wouldn't do it again. Because it's too much of a big process and commitment is heavy.
I mean, I'm in love with Rena.
I would not
I would not marry her.
I would not go through it again.
She's been married too. And I agree with that. I'm in love with her. I probably will not, she will probably be the person I'm with to the rest of my life.
Okay.
You guys will meet her at some point. We'll have a dinner in a new house. But we wouldn't marry. There's no point. What's the point?
Don't tell.
Don't tell the guy who's never been married.
Just
we'll talk about that on another pod. Sorry. Okay, so then why don't one of you close the podcast because my camera's not
You
working?
close it.
Eric, why don't you close this?
with something specific.
No, the way you, whatever you want to say, man.
I think that's been an amazing episode, man.
As usual.
Nice, natural. Farid, welcome back.
I think it's the best one so far.
It's been a blast.
Yeah.
It's been a blast.
We
Now
have literally not stuck to anything we planned.
Yeah.
Which is probably why it worked.
Quite natural.
So I want both of you, because your cameras are working, to look at Kim and tell him, don't fuck this video up.
Kim, we're watching you, bro. Audio, video.
I know some pipe beating sings in Parklands, bro. They'll come and find your ass, break your kneecaps.
That's fine. Eric, end it to be close.
It's been another amazing episode. The trio, this time on Coffee Pump, Farid, Khimani, Sajid Vayani. It's a wrap.
Catch you guys on the next one. Thanks.
That was nice.
That was amazing.
Hey, that was fun.